Was ist das? Guten Morgen alle. Heute schauen wir DS9. And we're going to be starting with Shakaar. Shakaar's it's okay. Really, mostly I'm looking forward to the Adversary. I think the Adversary is the best episode we're getting. But the others are okay. Or even good. Just not as good. Any thoughts on what's the best episode for today? So if anyone else would care to join the voice chat, there's a link to Discord in the description, as always. And everyone is free to join.
I think the best one we're going to see today is the Adversary.
I've always been a big fan of Facets.
Facets is good.
Yeah, it's a character piece for sure. I just like the tension and action of the Adversary. It is action in Star Trek done right, as opposed to some of the newer stuff, which is just Star Wars with Star Trek ships.
Okay, Michael, have you seen Discovery Season 2 yet?
I've seen all of them.
You have?
Yes.
Wait, are you the person that I was berating for not having watched Season 2, or was that someone else?
Someone else.
Oh, who was I berating? Oh, was it DB?
I don't remember.
I think it was DB. Yeah, I'll have to keep berating him next week. I think he'll be back.
Yeah, you can't tell me the season finale of Season 2 was not Star Wars.
So that was the one... The Season 2 finale... I think it's been long enough we can just talk about that freely. Season 2 finale, that was the one... It had a bunch of little ships.
Yeah, because it had all those Section 31 ships.
Yeah, it was big on fighter craft. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with Star Trek having some more fighter craft.
I mean, that's not the argument I'm making. It's more that the action sequences, for one, they're definitely more keyed up than regular Star Trek. I mean, we saw one of the best space battles a few weeks ago in yesterday's Enterprise that happens in The Next Generation, and it doesn't even come close to the frenetic energy of a Star Wars fight.
I mean, to be fair, yesterday's Enterprise could use a little more frenetic energy. They fire like 3 times in a pitched battle.
Yeah, no. I mean, it is one of the most detailed space battles in Next Generation, before the movies anyway. I mean, obviously Deep Space Nine overshadows them by far because, you know, it's different
it's the war show.
It's the war show, but it's also different methodology for creating space entirely, because they are, at that point, it is seasons like 6 and 7, and there are 5, 6, and 7 are really the big ones for the war, and they're already working with CGI for the most part, so it's a lot cheaper to make a bunch of ships as opposed to it would have been in TNG, because they're all practical models. But like for TNG, yesterday's Enterprise is about as big and glamorous as it gets.
Yeah, we're not really getting many space battles in TNG. I think the only one that comes to mind is the Borg battle in Best of Both Worlds, and we don't even get to see the full real battle until the movies.
I mean, that's just like TV budget stuff, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Got to do.
I mean,
like 1 minute until we press play.
Best of Both Worlds, the biggest battle that happens in that episode series is off screen.
Maybe one day we'll get the full battle of Sector 001 instead of the little snippet we get in DS9 intro.
That's 359, Wolf 359. Sector 001 is...
Right, Sector 001 was the first contact one, that's right.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day we'll get the full Wolf 359 battle instead of the little snippet we get in DS9 intro.
Isn't that so nice of the Borg to make Earth Sector 001?
I mean, I think that was they started referring to it after they assimilated
10 seconds.
the card.
Alright, everyone press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
So
and
it's
just
probably
Wait,
Probably
what?
picked up Sector 001 from Picard, and not
What?
because the Borg actually referred to it that way.
Wait, what? What? I don't remember Cisco ever playing darts. What's
This
going
is
on
the
here?
only time.
What's happening?
This
This isn't my Star Trek.
Canon is destroyed.
In the zone. Oh, is this the episode where they're going to have a betting pool about competition?
Yeah, this is the B story. I love how annoyed he looks.
He just wants to play his darts, but he has work to do.
Oh, the Bajorans.
Yeah, the Cardassians are looking for someone to solve their Bajoran problem for them. Oh, hey, Sadiq El Tahila Fader Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim Al Mahdi. What's going on? See, it's not just, oh, hi, Mark. Sometimes it's, hi, Sadiq.
Hi, Sadiq. I'm not even going to try.
Sadiq El Tahil El Fader Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim Al Mahdi.
I could just see you like in your room for hours on end rehearsing that.
Sure. Just nodding my head along with each word. It's very important to maintain the flow. I'm still not convinced that Major Kira's actress's name is actually Nana. It sounds wrong. Nana does not sound like a real name. Wait, who are we replacing? I was berating her name.
The dead First Minister of Bajor.
Oh, okay.
Win.
And Kira's speechless for a good 10 seconds here.
Had she
You got something to say?
had she done the coup before this episode?
There has been a coup, but
Yeah.
I don't know which specific one you're referring to.
Yeah, because Wynn was definitely involved in a coup at some point.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, we've had that.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of season 2.
Okay. Yes. Just remembering what happens in which order. But yeah. Then quite interesting how anybody would ever have her in consideration for the first ministerial post when she was literally involved in a coup.
I mean,
You know.
nobody ever
Well, she-
proved that she was involved.
Well, and not only that, but she was the one who spearheaded the interest in the investigating the Cardassian involvement. She was the one who stepped up and said, "We'll go ahead with this as long as we can verify that this evidence isn't real." And of course, the evidence was real. So
Yep.
she stepped up and immediately turned on the guy who orchestrated the coup.
When it was in
isn't a
her own
surprise.
best interest.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, there it is
Also,
still. Sadiq El Fadil as Dr. Bashir.
I hate to give Kai Wynn credit, but she is very much and on record as being very strongly anti-Cardassian. She was just as interested in fighting them off as Kira was. She just didn't
Yeah.
do violence to get it done.
Yeah. She did that whole thing where she bribed some, prison transport guard to release a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect.
Yeah, I think that's it.
In season
only that,
7,
but
she'll
she-
get significantly less anti-Cardassian.
Yes. Well,
She,
that's accidental almost.
yeah, she gets over it though, kinda.
Yeah, she's somewhat cool with him by the end.
Guest stars Duncan something. Diane. I'm just looking for people named Mark. William. I don't care about you, William. Get out of here. Sherman. I don't even know who that is. No Marks. And we didn't get a Gul Dukat in the credits.
As
No
long as
Gul
we get
Dukat.
Louise Fletcher, I'm happy.
Yeah. I feel like there should be a rule in the Bajoran government that someone just can't have both positions.
Well, they're kind of just getting their government on their feet, so like
Yeah.
it's probably not something they've dealt with yet.
Yeah, they don't really have rules. It's still provisional.
I mean, they mentioned that it's like it doesn't really happen. It's like a taboo for them someone to hold both offices. So then they've had republics before the occupation, so it was just like probably just decorum to not do it.
Okay. Was one of the credits Duncan O'Neill? Wait, I think Tom Paris is Robert Duncan McNeil.
Yeah.
It's close.
I don't know. Let's ask our person from the UK. O versus Mick. It's exactly the same, right? Oh.
Did she make peace with Cardassia? Oh, right, that episode where she had Bareil die. That's right. Yeah, because we have way more information than the Bajoran citizens do. They don't see any of this. They don't see Kai Wynn just being evil and killing people.
They should do a watch along.
Yeah, they should. They'd get so much information. And so many fun facts.
Yeah. I think about the viewers we'd get then.
All of Bayshore? I mean, that's at least 15 people.
Yeah.
Jeez,
What if we don't give them a choice then?
We'll get to that in a few seasons.
What if...
Odo speaking too much truth for 2020?
Yeah.
Well,
Speaking too much
2016
truth for
anyway.
2016. Yeah. And hang on, what year was Brexit voted on? It feels like it was like 10 years ago. When was it?
It was 16 as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 2016 just in general.
Just
We
a
can't be
weird
political
year.
on a Star Trek show. What are we doing? Star Trek's not political.
Politics
in
in
my
Star
Star
Trek?
Trek?
What?
Not in my Star Trek. It's more likely than you think. Jeez, get over your dead boyfriend, Kira. It's been 3 months. Yeah, Kai Wynn... Kai Wynn's the person who got Bareil killed, and now she's saying to just get over it. And she wants to be the leader of the government. And she doesn't wear nearly as nice of a hat as she used to. Kai Wynn's just the worst.
Budget cuts on the hat.
Maybe she's just going for something more streamlined.
But she had the whole Sydney Opera House on her head before. It was amazing.
Yeah, but this hat is definitely more aerodynamic.
Yeah, it is.
She's going for a swim later.
I still find it weird that this is the exact same outfit that Kai Bareil was wearing in Visions. It didn't really suit him.
I mean, that's why the prophets told him to give it to Win. It just wasn't his look.
Ah, of course.
He just couldn't pull off yellow.
You know, yesterday I was talking about how I just don't like yellow and orange outfits in general. I think Kai Wynn's the only person who actually pulls it off that I can think of.
No, she looks natural in it anyway.
I think Kai Wynn can rock that yellow.
Yeah,
Let's make a lot of money.
Membership, though.
I love the argument. It's like, let's make a lot of money so we can join somewhere that doesn't have join a federation that doesn't have money.
But they only say they don't have money, but they're liars.
She just wants to join the Federation so she can say she's the person they planted into the Federation.
I don't think she wants to join. I think she just thinks Kira wants to join, and she's using that as a rationalization to get Kira to do what she wants.
She definitely does not want to join the Federation.
Kira or Kai?
Oh, Kai Wynn. She's just using that argument because she thinks it'll appeal to Kira.
Yeah.
I thought she was on board with it later, like when Cisco tells them not to join.
I think she was on board with it because the majority of the rest of the government was, and I think that's as far as it went.
Like, Kai Wei doesn't have a stance on it. She just does whatever she thinks will be the most popular for her.
I mean, she's clearly interested in power more than she's interested in anything else. But I also am fairly certain that she wasn't one of the reasons she was trying to assassinate Barial was because it was in the interests of the Federation for him to be in power.
He's stealing the reclamators. How dare he? Yeah, Kai Wynn's really laying heavy on the it's for the good of Bajor. Think of how much good we could do if you went against your old friend. Trust me.
Think of the Bajoran children.
Think of the orphans, Kira. How are we supposed to feed the orphans if we can't reclaim the soil?
More money for the Bajoran War Orphans Fund.
I mean, Kai Wynn's not wrong in anything she's saying.
But we just hate it because it's Kai Wynn.
Yeah. It's just the ends she's talking about, she's not going to let happen. Could Nerys pull off the Kai robes? I'm going to have to find like a Photoshop of someone putting Nerys in Kai robes.
It's probably happened.
Well, let me.
I think they had her in. If you've watched the documentary, they had her as like a mock-up in the Kai robes.
I found from Star Trek Online, I found Kai Kira, but she's wearing the alpaca robes. She wears Vedic robes at some point. During the, Is it during the coup? Yeah, it's during the coup.
Yeah, it's a disguise to get into the Chamber of Ministers.
Yeah, I'm not finding any pictures of her wearing the gold robes. Yes, keep in mind, Shakaar is the Scottish space ghost that hangs out with Beverly. Same character.
Hangs out. That's a generous way of describing it.
Hangs out. I didn't want to be too explicit. I mean, this is a family-friendly content.
That episode sure isn't.
Yeah. This is why we blur the screen.
That was a stranger one, definitely.
That episode isn't friendly for anything.
All right, let me unblur the screen for you guys real quick. Yeah, here's Scottish Space Ghost and Shakaar. It's the same guy. I think he's actually been... I think he was the Space Ghost first in real world chronology. I think TNG Season 7 came before this.
May 22nd, 1995.
He just wanted to make Roostai with Beverly.
Sub Rosa came out January 31st, 1994. So, yep, a year earlier.
He just did such a great job playing a romantic interest. They had to have him on again.
Oh, hey, Morn.
Hey guys.
Hello. Yeah, this is way more people playing darts than I ever remember.
I love how they reused the Paramount Western cabin, like Little House on the Prairie kind of set this whole episode for the Bajoran thing. Because they're in like a rural province, Dakar province of Bajor. But they didn't bother giving like the Bajoran alien look. They just took whatever they had out of storage.
Okay.
But I mean, look at the symbol on the door. It's obviously alien. They slapped the Bajoran thing on it.
Annie could get your gun.
He's had 46 victories so far. I guess nobody on the station actually plays darts, so yeah. He's the only one who has any practice other than Bashir. Quark. He's going to hurt his shoulder. We know this. Is it a golden shoulder because it's so fragile and easily broken? I wonder if O'Brien's allowed to bet against himself and then throw the match.
I mean, later on, him and Julian are really competitive with it, like in the genetically engineered thing. When he says, "If not, we'll try a blindfold." So I don't think he'd throw a match like that. It's unsportsmanlike.
But he could make so much money doing it. Think of the money.
True. So this is the Western set.
What else is this used in?
I'm sure it's in an episode of Little House on the Prairie or something.
I remember we've talked about this guy, the big guy with the missing arm? Yeah, the missing arm. What were we talking about in relation to him? If anyone remembers.
No idea.
Probably deciding other stuff he was in. He's an Orion in Enterprise. Oh, and he's probably the guy who like holds up to Paul to the slave auction, right? Is he that guy?
I don't think so.
I mean, that guy does have 2 arms. And this guy clearly has
the
1.
actor has 2 arms as well.
I know.
Yeah, I assume the
know.
actor has to.
So yes, he did play the Orion in the slave auction scene.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done 2 roles, it looks like.
Never doubt Ryan.
I mean, you can always doubt me. I'm wrong most of the time. I just rely on you guys to correct me. Or Google. Mostly Google, honestly.
Maybe all the other YouTube channels are playing, but this channel is not playing. I really love this episode for showing us Kira's past, kind of. Like, it's just something I noticed. This is where the writers are really hitting their stride, and this show picked up probably a lot faster than TNG because the seasons are shorter to the Dominion War, and you know, all the characters are developed. We already know them, like them, appreciate them. And we're about to start the war, and I think like I mean, not to spoil it, but I was just noticing in like 3 or 4 episodes from now, like Cisco finally gets promoted to captain. We already had the changeling episode where Obsidian Order and the Tal Shiar are destroyed.
Yeah.
So Ira, Stephen Burr, you know, all of them, like that whole crew, Renee Echevarria. There's a Little House on the Prairie. They're all they're
I've
all
just
hitting
been-
their stride at this point.
Yeah.
Done.
I've just been wondering for a little while, are the Reclamators Bajoran or are they loaned by the Federation?
They're Bajoran.
I think they're Bajoran.
Okay. Because I know the
Central government
Federation gave them
Bajoran.
2 replicators.
Yeah, this
Industrial
shouldn't be a
replicators.
problem. Like the Federation should just be able to give them another 3.
Can you just
Reclamators
replicate
for-
more Reclamators?
Right.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to duplicate their technology.
Or just
If-
like beg the Federation, you know.
If the Federation
According to
doesn't even
Memory
have
Alpha,
something,
they're Bajoran.
yeah. I just don't understand. Like, even if the Reclamators could be considered, unique to Bajor's interests because it specifically removes their impurities, I still think the Federation could look at them and say, "Yeah, we can make something like that, and we'll give you more."
Easy.
I don't.
I mean, they
don't understand
terraform
why they
entire
don't.
planets. How hard could it be?
Shouldn't be a problem. Like scarcity is the thing that the replicators have overcome, so they shouldn't have scarcity.
Yeah, I assume the industrial replicators can replicate civilian replicators. Just any replicator that's smaller than the replicator you're using.
Well, actually, so the thing is that industrial replicators don't have, according to, I used to play this game, Starship Creator, and so it's not canon. But, like the industrial replicators had a lower resolution, so like cargo replicators, they could replicate or transport cargo.
Okay.
Which is different than like food replicators, which could translate, which should, create advanced protein synthesis and stuff for like food people transporters.
I feel like you still want a pretty good resolution if you're replicating things to be used in critical infrastructure.
True.
I wouldn't want any points of failure there.
Okay, so we had bits of Roman and Greek. There's definitely a thing that looked like the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the self-replicating mines, probably best not to think about how they're powered and where they're getting all that matter. Just, they're self-replicating, don't worry about it. They work very well. That's all you need to know.
So, the guy who actually held up to Paul is not this guy in this episode. The guy
Okay.
who held up to Paul is a professional wrestler named Big Show.
What?
Mm.
I mean, you love some of the cameos that Star Trek gets sometimes. Just
And we've had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, so why not Big Show?
yeah.
It's probably easier to get him.
This guy
I
did
guess.
play an Orion captain, but it's a different episode, different guy.
Okay.
You mean the
Yeah,
guy who's
Enterprise.
playing Pharrell?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at Memory Alpha right now, and he plays Harad Sar in Bound.
Yeah, that's a different episode, and it's a different guy.
Let's see. Harad Sar was an Orion privateer who attempted to capture Jonathan Archer, who was considered a fugitive due to his liberation of a slave market. So this guy was looking for Archer after the slave market.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was getting the Orions mixed up.
Okay, yeah, he's the Orion captain from the one with the Orion slave girls, who of course are not in fact slaves.
Was that
I don't
racist?
want to be racist, but all
I'm
Orions look the same to me.
about to say, am I racist because I couldn't tell one Orion from another? Oh boy.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Harad fell.
racist.
Harad Sar. He has a lot more like, I don't know what you would call it, like cracking on his face or like visible protrusions.
They look like veins to me. Yeah.
Whereas the slave auction guy had a very smooth face, I remember. Or I could be
Yeah,
making that
the
up.
slave
I don't have a
auction guy
picture of
was
him.
in the Soong episodes, the augments.
Yes.
She loves sitting in her throne of power.
Okay, why are you fondling your gun? That's not helping. You don't have a first minister. That's the whole point.
It's a provisional first minister.
She's acting.
she-
She's not the real first minister. She's acting first minister.
Yeah, but she has the full use of the police force.
He just beat up a cop. He can't do that.
Okay, sorry. This is kind of what I realized also watching before. The first time you watch Star Trek, you think, "Oh wow, they're so professional," but then you kind of just watching these 3 episodes earlier today. They're not professional at all. They're like
What
the
do you
most
mean?
unprofessional ever. So here,
Kira beating up a
Kira
cop
is
isn't
going
professional?
down. Right. So Kira leaves her post on Deep Space Nine to like deal with some domestic Bajoran issue.
Sure.
And now she's running away to join a ragtag rebellion, and she's gone for like days. It's like your job is gonna ask you like, like, hey, where have you been? Like, what are you doing? How did you just join a resistance cell? In between,
I mean, Kira's
They-
always
they leave
joining
her
resistance cells. It's her thing.
because they have Cisco come in too, and he refused. Like, he knows about the whole deal. So like, your boss isn't gonna say anything that you just chose to disappear.
She went and lived with some old guy for like a week who looked like Hannibal Lecter.
So yeah, I mean, I guess we all can just walk off the job whenever we want, right?
She went and attacked a Cardassian prison camp.
Yeah. I mean, but everybody does those errands, though. Remember when Dax, and they went to go discover
That time Dax went to go assassinate a white guy,
First?
an albino.
Right. And then I mean, it turns out to be someone else. But at one point, two episodes ago, Julian is like fixing something in the Jeffries tube when like O'Brien should be fixing it.
Yeah.
And O'Brien doesn't even think it's like he doesn't.
But he
even-
took engineering extension courses.
Yeah, true. Anyway, we'll get to that. I don't mean to spoil it for anyone.
I feel like,
This
yeah,
scene throws me
Vulcans would
off.
be excellent at this game.
The Vulcans would be unbeatable.
And we learned from Enterprise that they're unbeatable in pool, in billiards.
Really. It's just physics.
It's simple geometry.
Do you think this is faked between
I mean, it wasn't very convincing, but I think he's trying to make it real.
because I'm wondering if O'Brien just throws the match. Or
Oh yeah, they're definitely putting on an act here. Bashir bet against O'Brien, and now he's going along with his torn rotator cuff.
yeah.
Typical Vulcan. You don't have a shoulder anymore, Chief.
Vulcans only show up on Deep Space Nine to beat the bad guy.
And I think that might be true. Do we see any nice Vulcans here? In all of DS9? Like a single nice Vulcan.
Or murderers, right? Like like transporter bullet using psychopaths, sociopaths.
And there's the Vulcan captain who tries to beat Cisco at
Take me out to
baseball.
the holosuite. Yep.
There's this guy.
And they
who's-
have a long-standing rivalry, and this guy's a jerk too.
There is a nice Vulcan. Well, not nice, but like not.
not
jerk.
evil.
They're all like
Um,
self-righteous jerks, like self-pompous
He's-
intellectuals. Like
He's in the first episode of Deep Space Nine. He is Cisco's captain during Wolf
Oh,
9.
yeah, Martok.
Yep.
There's that Vulcan Maquis terrorist. That Quark lectures about
Sheriff,
logic.
though.
That's a good guy. No, I mean they're freedom
But
fighters.
she's so polite about it.
She is.
They are.
Yeah, the gunrunner. That lady.
She's also the one who told them the plan.
Oh yeah, Mirror Tuvok. Mirror Tuvok's cool. He's in the show. There are
Hey,
occasional nice Vulcans, but not many.
How's everybody doing?
I'm still alive, which is ideal. For me, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who would win at pool? Vorak?
Is there a second option? Vorik versus who?
I think he disconnected.
I'm here.
Okay, that was just a disconnection connection sound.
She calls him emissary, but she has no respect for him.
It's again.
Oh, she
It's,
envies him.
Yeah, I'm eating
Okay.
lunch. So I'm basically muting the mic and muting it so you don't chew.
Yeah, Cisco
Yeah,
as
like
the emissary is
exactly.
threatening her power within the religious government.
I guess calling him emissary is like a thing to
Formality.
like make him support him, show him some faux respect.
Yeah. Right though, like she just wishes she could have the sway over the Bajoran people the way this, foreigner does
Yeah.
on Bajoran.
Well, what else are they going to use the militia for? What else does the militia do if not to go against other Bajorans?
I mean, it could be like police or
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the impression they were just Bajoran cops. Do they have a separate police force?
like our militia is the National Guard. Like if you're in America, anyway.
Oh, that was an evil angle there. That camera angle for below between two candles. Oh yeah, that's evil.
This is a really well directed episode. I have to give it to.
Oh, this is the same cliff that what are their names? Picard and Beverly scramble down when they're escaping somewhere.
Oh, when they're kidnapped and then they're psychically connected, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I remember
And then
the
he says, like,
rocks.
this way. Yeah, and
The
he
little
says this
rocks.
way, and this is where they part, and then he's like, "Well, we're gonna go this way." And he's like,
Attached.
"Well, you weren't sure at
TNG,
all."
Season 7, Episode 8.
Yes, and there was an intake for this one. In fact, I think that's the exact rock. I think that's the exact rock where they stop and see the guy on the
It's a
cliff.
good rock, okay? Everyone likes that rock. Very popular rock.
Oh, and he said they're on the ridge, and I think that might be the same ridge.
It looks like Caretaker was on this one too from Voyager.
Yeah, this looks like I don't know about. Yeah, maybe. I think it might also be the episode Basics on Voyager.
This was just the caves, the Kazon caves.
Oh yeah, that's totally the same rock. Let me load up the intake for this episode. And we'll watch that after.
I mean, it's funny, right? Because when you were young, you were this freedom fighter, and now that you're old, you can't run from the police like you used to.
Yeah, so here's just a picture of it. There's the rock. Here's the small rocks going down it's not a gravel exactly, but they're scrambling their way down the cliff. It's a different angle, but I'm virtually certain it's the same quarry.
I was reading a really interesting biography of Mao Zedong of China, And so the nationalists, Gomuntang, they had a lot more money and power than the communists. So, but then they united to fight the Japanese invasion, 1939 to 41, and the nationals had American support with Shanghai Shek, and he was like a dictator over China, and they had American airplanes and money, but Mao ran to the mountains, and it was this thing called a long march where he kept fleeing, and then he was able to recruit so many peasants by like between fleeing to the mountains and with all the peasants then, and they overthrew the landlords and stuff. They finally defeated the nationalists, but they had money and power all against him. So I feel like it's very reminiscent of I mean, you really have to survive in the mountains sometimes.
Okay. So I was looking at Farhat there. I think what they did to get rid of his arm is he's just like holding his real arm to his side, and they like put a big wad of cotton in his sleeve and tied it up. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a giant summer sausage. I don't know what they used. But something's hanging in there. It's not him. A rather significant difference in style of commentary. You and your fancy Mao Zedong resistance movements. I think he used a summer sausage in his arm.
Ever since seeing The Wire, which the TV show, not the Deep Space Nine episode,
Yeah.
I can't see this guy as
Shakaar?
anybody but not Shakaar, the colonel that they're talking about.
Okay.
He's a character in the Wire TV show, and he's a real asshole in that show.
Yeah.
But is he going to be nice here?
He's actually quite nice here. I think he's an honorable man.
He's totally reasonable.
Oh yeah, he's like the senior cop who's like the jerk.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. But wasn't anyway, I'm confusing with the Gene Hackman now. From like the
he exudes a Gene Hackman energy for sure.
Yeah.
He looks like him, and there is whenever he's being a jerk, he acts kind of like him.
But
I respect Gene Hackman as an actor for sure. I mean, he's great, but he always plays some grouchy old man. Even when he was young.
Something. Yeah. Like some jerk football coach, or like a military drill sergeant or something.
So Shakaar is once again going to prove the best solution most of the time is just talk.
Yeah, I mean that's
You could just
start. You know, I'm glad to see, and this is not a spoiler-free thing. I mean, I'm glad to see this, and this is not a spoiler thing, but like, there's another YouTube channel that was originally hating on Discovery, and now because like there's more talking and like resolving stuff through negotiation, they've come around on Star Trek Discovery, because that's what Star Trek's always been about.
Again, yeah, I mean, that's what Picard said. You talk, and if you can't talk anymore, you talk some more anyways.
Wait, is this the Darmok and Jalad terrain? It kind of looks like it. Like where they finally Timba, his arms open.
Probably a similar area. I mean, this is all Los Angeles, so there's only
Southern California, clearly.
Yeah, there's only two things around Hollywood that they actually use. It's either the Vasquez Rocks or this weird desert area. So they all look the same.
Yeah, they use a rock quarry in northern LA.
Not driving more than an hour out from like LA, so yeah,
with the 30-mile zone. That's right. Otherwise, you have to pay extra expenses and travel and stuff.
Yeah,
this might also be the same quarry from Rocks and Shoals later on.
There's more vegetation here than Rocks and Shoals, I think.
I'm just looking that large cliff in the background looked familiar. This isn't the same spot they filmed in Rocks and Shoals for sure, but I don't know.
So is this public land, or is this something that the studios own? All the quarry and that
They're just renting it.
from the government, or is it just somebody else?
I don't know who owns it. I assume it's a private company that owns the quarry.
Okay.
So imagine if you watch Power Rangers, like every 3 or 4 episodes, they will go to the same place and
Yeah.
fight. They'll be in the town, and then they'll teleport to the quarry. Like, well, that was fast.
Quarries are the best
If you-
place to film.
Even if they do that, they Power Rangers use a lot of food.
No, I mean definitely being a scene scout is like a very interesting part of the movie production process.
Oh shoot!
Apparently, it's a really short part of the
sometimes
process, considering they just scout one location, use it over and over.
Yeah,
Here,
we'll go
definitely
there.
for sure. Here for sure.
Right.
I mean, like the schedule they're on is I don't think any normal person could do the breakneck schedule of a TV
Yeah.
show. Like, because I was reading how the first day of Star Trek Voyager was too much for the actress who they originally selected to be Janeway, but it's a 16-hour day with like cuts and retakes and reshoots, and you got to be on point the whole time.
And audio dubs too. Because I know from Harry Tom's podcast, they say they do a lot of audio. They say the lines in the booth or that well.
Yeah. Sometimes in editing, they might choose to like recut something,
Yeah.
so they'll need an audio dub. Yeah.
But anyways, back to
just look.
selection.
We just look at this. Like they do like 20 hours of TV a year. That's a lot of filming.
But
And like they film 5 days a week, 16-hour days, and then all of this has to be edited and produced and run like by the season. So they're on a breakneck schedule. It's hot. Like studio lights are hot too. So and the worst is for anyone in an alien costume, because like Odo especially, like I realized with Saru, when they put up their nose, like you're not really breathing right, and your character sounds really nasal. And it's a
Fiddle,
consistent thing on Star
your
Trek.
connection's really bad. We're losing you a lot.
yeah, but back to the scene selection where they scene scout stuff. I know one unrelated movie to this. They film one scene in 2 different locations at the same time.
What?
Because
they've got to do
yeah,
so much. Or
Yeah, Jurassic Park. They were running from those little herd stampede. One was filmed on Oahu for the log. The rest, the wide shots are on.
So the outdoor scenes in this episode were filmed in Bronson Canyon, which is part of Griffith Park, I guess. It was the place that was used in Darmok, also used in Ensign Row, which is where they had the Bajoran refugee camp in that episode.
Okay.
And used in Attached in TNG, which is the one
Aha!
where Picard and Crusher are.
It is that one.
Linked. Rocks and Shoals was at a different quarry in Sun Valley, Los Angeles.
Jeff, can you set up a push to talk for your chips?
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you.
I just forgot to turn it off.
I just want to point out that what Kara Nerys and Shakaar when they did over there, that was definitely blackmail. When they went to talk to the guy. It's like, no, you're totally free to enter the election, but we've got all this dirt on you, and I mean, you wouldn't want people to see it, would you? It'd be a shame if someone were to release it.
Against Kai Wynn?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Star Trek, that's just called talking your way out of a problem.
Is she going to blow out the candle, or is she still mourning? Alright, she got over him. Oh, right, she has to get over Bareil here because now she's in love with Shakaar.
yeah.
Yeah, she has to move on. Okay, so, yeah, Shakaar's pretty good. Well, the character, but the episode is what I'm referring to there. The episode,
it's a good
Shakaar's pretty
episode.
good. Speaking of Just Talk, there was an early Discovery Season 3 episode, which I guess I don't want to say too much about it. But, how can I say this? they're trying to mediate. There's a conflict between a planet and like a moon or another planet in early season 3. And they've been fighting for a really long time. They've been going forever. It's a whole thing. And Discovery comes in and it's like, just talk. And then that works. You just make people talk and it solves everything.
It's beautiful.
I loved that part. 1 minute countdown to Facets. Yeah, that might honestly be my favorite episode of season 3 so far. If y'all know which one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, the Titan people.
Yeah, Titan people.
And that's what turned around a lot of people.
With a very recognizable actor from the show Hell on Wheels is where I recognized him from. The main antagonist. And again, because I'm trying not to say anything directly about it, I can't say who it is. He's very recognizable to me. After we finish the 3rd episode, we can go into Discovery Season 3 spoilers. But for now, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, hey, Nog. So that canyon was not the place where they filmed Rocks and Shoals? Different place?
Oh, it was Darmok though,
different.
so I stand redeemed.
Yep.
Thank
It
you.
was Darmok. It was attached.
But thank you for fact checker.
Yeah, Darmok attached an Ensign Row in TNG. It was used once in Voyager for, I believe, the 37s.
Wait, hang on. How is this working? How is Jake... So the screen was just a screen, right? It wasn't a real window. It would have just been a projection of the stars. Why was he able to see Jake in front of the stars that were just part of the screen?
It's not a screen, it's a window.
Oh, but it's a hologram, so it's a projection.
Yeah, but I mean... On the actual runabout, that is a window.
On the actual runabout, but that wasn't a real runabout. But I get...
Usually,
Since it turns out to be a holosuite, that works. I initially thought he was in like a simulator. Like an actual physical model of a ship.
Yeah.
No, but we never see anyone break the fantasy like that. Like,
The only other time I think they do that is
Physically
when
overcome
Odo
it.
shows up to the car, and the car is
Oh, right.
driving,
The car's clearly moving.
and Odo's like, "Hi, Doctor."
Man, Sir Lofton's really tall. Just towering over everyone. Oh, I don't know if Jake wants to write holosuite programs. I'd be curious to see what he would come up with, though. Quark can have an in-house writer to come up with brand new stuff for his clients. Oh, that'd be a great arrangement for Jake. Yeah, oh, those people are in regular TNG uniforms in the background.
Probably just visiting. Or
Lita. Are Bashir and Lita dating at this point, or are they still flirting?
Quark will probably give Jake a gross sales deal instead of a net sales.
Oh, it wouldn't be fair at all. But give something to do.
Kind of something like tree is. You don't ever want sales percentage. Sale. You got it backward.
He's
Never
going to
mind.
get royalties, presumably.
Yeah, royalties based on gross. Of course, they won't make money like Star Wars.
Yes, Jeffrey, the video is supposed to be blurry because I can't show it on YouTube because copyright. The idea is you just watch along with your own video.
Yeah, I know that. I wasn't talking about.
No, someone in the YouTube chat. Oh no, you're that person. You're both Jeff.
Yeah, I'm Jeff.
But that's also Jeff. Are you? Wait, are you the same
Oh,
Jeff or are you
hi,
different
Jeff.
Jeffs?
Who's on first?
This is completely unhelpful. Okay, YouTube Jeff is helpful. YouTube Jeff specified you're a different Jeff.
But I'm.
It's like
The
the
mirror Jeff.
changing conundrum that we have in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, so
Who's
you
the
can
real
watch
Odo?
along on Amazon or Netflix or CBS. There's links to all the places it's available in the description.
And Hulu allegedly also.
And Hulu, but who uses Hulu? What kind of Neanderthal uses Hulu?
Yeah, just people have too much money lying around. I want to test. I think because I'm on Ethernet, so I shouldn't be breaking up. Do you hear me loud and clear?
You sound okay right now.
Yeah, you sound good.
Thank you.
For
Gracias.
now.
For now.
Why does Wi-Fi suck on? That's what I always.
Wi-Fi is
It's
always
weird.
worse than Ethernet, no matter what.
Yeah, I know that, but Wi-Fi worse than cellular.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know. Did you just get a
So, like,
trash router?
No, I have a bunch
Like-
of routers out there. I have a bunch of Wi-Fi through the house. That
cellular is designed just for audio. Well, it's true. That's all we're doing here. Good question.
I have a similar issue where like when I play FIFA online, I have to go to my cellular phone network. Otherwise, it just won't. Even though I don't get it.
Funny. That's crazy. I bought a connector for Ethernet to my phone, and my Chromebook didn't come with Ethernet. So recently, I bought Ethernet to USB for my
Wait.
laptop.
you can get an adapter for.
Yeah, but not the micro USB. What is it? The new USB one.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. You can get Ethernet to
Oh,
USB.
that would make sense especially for Android phone. Android's just a overreaching OS versus iPhone. See, I have an iPhone. Probably do
And I
that.
learned it's more secure too, than Wi-Fi.
Which is, does Nana Visitor also have a back problem? Because she's always leaning back, so she's always lounging instead of just sitting normally on a chair like she is in this scene. Does she have a Frakes problem? If the camera will cut to Kira again. Yeah, look at her. She's always just leaning over so heavily.
I think that's just her character showing a dominant pose because she's basically the second in command at this meeting.
Okay, I assume Bashir and Lita are actually dating at this point because their arms are touching.
Yeah.
But then Cisco and Dax's arms are also touching, so maybe I shouldn't read too much into it. I assume they are not dating. But you never know.
Also, Kira and Odo are next to each other.
Oh, that's Odo wants to date her. We've still got, what, 2-3 seasons till that happens?
I know, but didn't Odo already discover that he loves her?
Oh yeah.
So.
He admitted in the cave when it was fake Kira.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Dax, don't do this in front. No.
Yeah, by the way,
In
this
front
is
of all your friends.
explicit.
My God.
Jesus Christ.
Explicit. Yeah, this is kind of weird. I don't think this would survive into television today. Because she's basically bribing him with sex.
It's like giving me a hand job out in the open.
Yeah, it really is.
Huh.
And now Quark is just staring at her.
Wow. Sorry, I was just looking at something else. So I never knew it existed.
Yeah, they're really weird about, how they interact with Ferengi's ears. Just in public. Just don't do any of that.
I noticed later when Rom is walking away from Quark at some point, they walk like chimps, so they're clearly like modeled after.
Oh, there's a fuzzy border around these characters, so that the hull suite's about to turn on.
Sorry, I just. Okay. The Ethernet adapter you guys are talking about for Android is $6. For iPhone, does anybody want to guess what the Apple's charging for it?
$70.
99.
99. Wow. Yep. Transition. There it is. You always have to look for the fuzzy border. And then they cut to the real set on the close-up of O'Brien. Yeah, so just Apple is the one company I just refuse to buy things from. I won't do it. Never.
It's like a Hulu subscription.
I mean, even Hulu I would buy if I really needed it. But Apple, I don't care what they got.
I'd rather have Hulu than Apple Plus.
I have a personal grudge against Apple, and I refuse to buy their products.
That's a good policy.
Yeah. My next phone's going to be a Droid, but my phone's not broken, so I'm not placing it yet.
Yeah.
I love how the Trill Commission just has like wardens just like ready just to run on errands like this. It's like,
well, they do stress that this is an
who's
inconvenience for them.
doing his job.
They do stress that this is an inconvenience for him because, like, he had to leave the Trill homeworld, and normally Dax goes back, or any joined Trill would go home to do this.
And I was just thinking, the further we go into the future, of course, assume the symbiont survives, there's going to be more and more past hosts. So the Trill actually they have to get more and more friends. If you're just imagine if like Tobin, I can't imagine him doing.
Can you rent friends for this?
He's not. I can't imagine Tobin being like a very friendful person.
So if she was supposed to go back to Trill and do this, I assume they have a contingent of volunteers who are there just to.
Yeah, they have like public defenders, but for Trill possession.
Right. Yeah.
You're just assigned friends if you can't provide your own.
Even though they're doing it in this episode, it kind of strikes me as a better idea to do this with people you don't know, so that you can look at these past hosts as separate from the people they're occupying.
But then you'd have to pay more actors, so.
Oh, for sure, yeah. In the show, for obvious reasons, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in the case of if you were to actually do this in Trill Society, you would probably want people that you don't know to take on these personalities.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Just because it would be easier for you to separate the character that they are, the person they are inhabited with, from the person that they actually are. It's got to be kind of awkward for Jadzia to look at Kira and see someone different.
In this case, Leela? Is that who it is?
We just feel like an old grandma.
Yep.
I mean, it feels like the alternate Kira too.
Yeah, Cisco is going to have a great time doing his thing. Cisco, or Avery Brooks, loves playing that kind of character.
Yeah,
it certainly seems that way, at least. Especially in the James Bond episode. He loves playing Dr. Noah.
Yeah. He's almost Shatner levels of cheese
in
this episode.
I don't actually know if Avery Brooks is a good actor, but he's very fun to watch.
He definitely enjoys it.
I mean, playing a Starfleet officer is kind of a wooden thing, so the ability to just work out your acting muscle a little bit is like probably a relief too.
Yeah, sort of. I think Avery Brooks certainly makes Cisco his own.
Yeah.
At certain points.
Because like one funny thing is like, I mean, I had a friend who like got into Next Generation much after me, and I just noted to him that by the time you get to seasons like 6 and 7, probably 5 also. Actually, starting season 5, Patrick Stewart isn't even trying to act anymore as like Captain Picard. He just like turns you make it so, and then he just like that's it. They're just doing perfunctory roles. I feel at that point, as the show's getting over. Or I mean, he's just settled into his role. He's not exploring the character as much anymore.
Yeah, what is that? Is that space oatmeal? What are they pouring?
That's the stuff
Space
that's
mud.
in the Guardian caves, or not the Guardian cave, the Symbiont caves, isn't it?
But the symbiont pools are just like water. What's that stuff? Is that like fish food for the symbionts? They pour it into the water pools?
Might be oil for the lamp. Because if you just put a rope in like a pool of oil, add oil to it, it'll become a wick. It'll keep wicking up the oil and it'll let you burn.
What accent is Colin putting on here?
Generic nerd, I think.
Speaking, I mean, he doesn't do it. Julian, Siddig Al Fadel.
صديق الفاضل أطاهر عبد الرحمن محمد أبو كريم المختي.
Thank you. He does an American accent, or he tries at one point. So, and it's funny to hear Julian pull off the American.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that I think this is Emily. I think it makes sense that Emily would be wanting to do all this stuff right now. Because, I mean, she can't physically move when she's just part of Jadzia. She's just a mental image. Now she has a body. She can actually do something. Oh, no.
Armin Shimmerman's acting is at his finest.
How many times is Armin Shimmerman playing a woman in this show? Is it 3?
I know of at least 2. What would be the third?
The time that he is the Kira Holosuite program.
Oh yeah.
What's the third one then? That's the only other one I can think of.
About the protest.
The third one would be the one where he like physically turns into a woman to try and manipulate some Ferengi. Later in the series.
We do not speak of that episode.
Why not? It's a great episode. What's wrong with Prophet and Lace?
They do not. So it's kind of. Oh gosh.
We can just pretend it's good. Don't worry about it.
It more than a little bit grazes against actual trans issues, and they do not handle it well.
No, they don't. But it's fun to look. Prophet and Lace is an episode that's amazing because it's so easy to make fun of. It's like Move Along Home. It's great.
Like when Julian says "come in here," that's totally American accent.
That is an American accent.
It doesn't sound American.
It's not very good, but he's trying.
Oh yeah, he did do something. No, Siddiq, what are you doing? This is why Siddiq does not get more than like one line. He just has to smile knowingly.
It's like the director yelled "cut" when he went to American.
Like, you can't do this! Halt!
Thanks, Julian. That's a wrap.
Could you put some restraints on him, Odo? Could you just... You could just cuff him. If you really needed to, you could put him into a restraining field.
A Hannibal Lecter outfit with the stretcher and everything. Take this thing back to Baltimore. So we already had the same-sex kiss with Dax.
No.
Not yet.
Oh,
That's in like 6 episodes or 8 episodes from now.
thank you.
Rejoined next season.
So I think this is
Alright, I'm not-
Avery's villain role where he does whisper evil and not yelling evil.
Not the crazy evil either.
Well, no, definitely crazy.
Okay, it is crazy.
We'll get to crazy in a second here.
Oh yeah, he's doing whisper evil right now. Was Duran this unsubtle in real life when he was actually, alive?
Love it. Yeah, I mean, he's doing the Hannibal Lecter thing. The music in this scene is so crazy
It's
because
spooky.
the strings are just on edge, like the Psycho movie, horror movie. So they're definitely playing off the entire genre of horror. But you have to give it to the music department.
God, were you always this creepy, Duran? How did you even get into the symbiosis anything?
I would like to be a host. Will you make me a host?
Duran is like 3 different characters in the show, and that's about the right number, because when he first appears, he's not this creepy. Then he's this creepy in Cisco,
And then with Ezri,
he's a completely different character.
With Ezri out, almost seems pretty reasonable, actually.
Yeah, he's almost normal, except for the fact that he's still a serial.
Until the very end, where he wants to, shoot a man for no reason.
Right.
He's like, I'm sorry. Sorry. Did you want to continue, Michael? I don't mean to.
Sure, go for
cut
it.
you off. Did I interrupt you, Michael?
No, I was done.
Okay, thank you. So I just feel this Hannibal Lecter, Clarice Starling kind of vibe, Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, because he's talking to her behind the screen. And then, but if you notice in the first scene of Silence of the Lambs, he's needling her because he says like you're wearing a certain perfume, and your accent covers up that you're from like a West Virginia accent, like you're covering up your hick background, and he's just like psychoanalyzing her to like mess with her.
Are the voles
in a
still
creepy-
screaming, Jadzia?
Now we have crazy mode.
There we go. Handcuffs? Jadzia, what are you doing? Get Odo in here. Jadzia, what are you doing?
Strings are on edge here.
That was not Avery Brooks. I don't know who the heck that was that Jadzia pretended to hit, but that was not Avery. Okay, I'm not convinced that's actually Cisco. Can we get Odo in here?
Yeah. I wouldn't be convinced.
Until he's transferred back? Yeah, can we? This seems unsafe.
Yeah, and notice Benjamin couldn't override the Duran takeover.
Oh, hey,
That
Ron.
was
So the
probably just
thing-
probably
Yeah.
just Duran faking it.
Yeah, it was. So I'm saying though, like this thing isn't foolproof. Like
Books? What are books? Alvanian cave sloth. Once again, continuing the trend of alien. Oh, hey, Morn. Alien planet, Earth creature.
so Morn does have hair, by the way.
A little bit.
Garrick made that.
Well, yeah, he's a very good tailor.
Why wouldn't he just have the replicator build it?
It's a personalized touch. Don't worry about it.
Should be like, hey, replicator, you know Nog? Make him a uniform.
So have we
Garrick-
now transferred Duran out of Cisco at this point? I hope so.
So Garrick's
Duran's
making,
just in there for the rest of the show.
So Garrick's making counterfeit Starfleet.
Yeah, I feel like he's not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna call him out for it. It'll be fine.
Right.
It reminds me when I went to Star Trek: The Experience in Las Vegas. They had a recreation of the Enterprise bridge, and the people who work there, they're wearing a Starfleet uniform. I just show up in a Starfleet uniform on top anyway. I guess I was wearing jeans below, but the lady working there just gave me a quick smile because it's that's the second time I've been on a replica of the Enterprise D bridge. Because here in New York, you had the Indianapolis, the USS aircraft carrier, and with the submarine. So they had a Star Trek thing open up too. It's just a breathtaking sight to be in a Star Trek museum with the Enterprise bridge.
Yeah, I remember the experience in Vegas. It's too bad they shut it down.
Yeah, it's hard to make money off of that.
Yeah, I know. I was too young to actually have fun. It was like a little kid, so I can't really go to Quan.
I was so mad it closed before I could go and get there.
I bought a shot glass.
I still have some Romulan.
Star Trek is really making a resurgence. Maybe they'll bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they have 30 shows in production.
Yeah, but if they bring it back, it'll be the Discovery Bridge, and I just won't care as much.
No, exactly. They won't have the TNG.
So in the exhibit, they also next to the original space shuttle, the Discovery, they have the actual thing hung up on the ceiling on the aircraft carrier. They have the Galileo 7 shuttlecraft on display from the show, the original series, Galileo 7 episode.
Where is
Pretty
that?
cool. It's in New York. It's by the naval shipyard, the USS Indianapolis aircraft carrier.
The Discovery isn't in New York though; it's in DC.
So I'm sorry. So it's the other one. Not the Columbia blew up, obviously, but the other.
I think New York has the Enterprise actually.
Yes, I'm sorry. So yeah.
And
Is
the
that the
Enterprise was
nuclear
not
vessel?
an actual shuttle. It was a suborbital test model.
Okay. Thank you. Right, it was piggyback on a plane most of the time.
Right.
Yeah, Renee, what are you doing? Curzon, unfortunately, we've kind of learned multiple times throughout the series that Curzon's kind of just a garbage person.
Yeah, he's really
Curzon's
not
kind of just the worst.
Well, I mean, say whatever. Do you notice that it was just implied that they met a girl on a planet and they both probably hooked up with her or something?
Oh yeah.
There was something that Jake was not privy to. They were having sexual escapades.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to talk about anything like that with his,
Ooh,
his
God.
kid. I don't think Quark's ever going to get over it based on the scene in the series finale when Odo turns around and kisses him.
Tale as old as time, story old.
Hey, it's Curzon.
Yeah, I was gonna say Odo and the Quark.
A tale as old as time for a man as old as time.
Bah! Damn kids.
So Odo's uniform is part of his gelatinous body?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And doesn't wear clothes. Wait, does that mean he's always naked?
Yes.
Is this
Yeah.
the part where we play in the seductive sax?
I think
If he was wearing like
Quark
actual
too.
clothes, he'd just leave behind a pile of clothes every time he shapeshifted into something.
Okay.
I think
It's so much freer when you got no clothes.
I think it just dawned on Quark too. Look on his face.
Yeah.
It's very breezy on the station.
Yeah, this is the ultimate fusion of personalities. It's like if you put Steve Jobs and Bill Gates together.
I love Curzon Odo. It's great.
This is more animated than he ever gets to be throughout the entire rest of the series.
More like Martin Shrek Kelly and Elon Musk
Tonga
together.
Hustler.
Freaking, what do you get? So, what happens when you cross a party animal with goddamn just a stern police officer?
Apparently just get another party animal.
That is one fat for Ferengi.
You get like a vigilante policeman.
It's Batman.
Yeah.
It's Batman with a sense of humor. There you go.
Yeah. With like a embarrassed, like clean out the mob kind of behavior. Like he'll take down the mob through a poker game.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Quark
remember
says
what
something
happened
nice.
here. Oh
So
no.
Quark is complimenting his nephew. He's so nice of an uncle.
Yeah, sure. Quark is totally being the good guy here, as Rom can clearly tell.
He has the sweetest words for Nog. They don't know what they're missing.
Rom's trying to figure out how come he never gets talked like that.
Why is my brother so fatherly and
I think Rom might be attempting another assassination soon.
Freaking,
Odo here is
If-
cleaning out the bank with the gold pressed latinum.
freaking Odo saying, "I am security" is the equivalent of "I am the Senate." I am the Senate.
Odo just funded staff salary increases for the rest of the year for his people. That's one way to fund a police department, right?
Yeah, I don't know if Odo cares about keeping evidence, because he does things his way. He just arrests people and they're arrested. That's all there is to it.
So Curzon
Hold them as
here
long as he
clearly
wants.
does not care. I mean, in theory, if he takes 2 sips out of it, two small shot glasses out of a thing, it's still evidence, right?
Why does Curzon, you can't even drink as Odo? Like you
I mean,
can just
good
like
thing
store
he-
it in your middle, but it's not going to be drinking it.
He's also not going to taste it,
Think-
probably.
Yeah.
True. But good thing he didn't find like a cocaine trafficker or something, because right now they would have been doing blows.
Jesus.
Now, do you think it would be actual cocaine, or would they pull out Star Wars and call it spice?
Yeah, melange.
Got some oregano.
He could have some beetle snuff.
Yeah. Which is that? But it's said later though.
Oh, how's he
He's
just?
doing it to enjoy the relish of being human. It's something Odo that really appreciates from this thing. So even if you can't like digest the thing, like you get the liveliness of being the center of attention at a bar, telling stories, pigging out on like really great food.
Yeah, because there is that episode where he morphs his hand to a glass and then like, simulates it being smaller
Right.
as he drinks.
Right.
Would the female shapeshifter accept Odo like this?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, no.
Would she be fine
She'd be
with
like-
that?
She'd be like, "You're gonna destroy the whole race with this."
I mean, imagine what happens if he joined the collective while he had Curzon in him with the entire.
Now everybody is Curzon.
Yeah, if Curzon jumped into the link, that would cause chaos.
What happens if you... Oh no.
They become the Irishmen of the galaxy. But actually, I was really thinking about that. I was like, this episode could start could be the premise because there's 30 new shows in production. You could clearly have a Trill and a Changeling symbiosis. Each of the past Daxes could have
an anthology show, 1 season per host. Yeah, it's kind of like Tuvix this episode.
Yeah, but better.
Except this one isn't going to be just straight up murdered by the captain.
They talk some more.
I am actually extremely interested in the idea of just they stayed this way.
They should do a spin-off. Well, he passed away.
They should do Star Trek What Ifs like Marvel are doing.
Right.
Yes, he was Cisco. Thank you for admitting that.
The big question is what Jadzia has at the end. When did he ever get any work done? Because it doesn't make any sense.
He was apparently an ambassador.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
He founded the. Well, he was instrumental to the Kinema Accords.
But then ambassadors in Star Trek are all kind of awful. Loxana's awful. The ambassadors, we get like 3 ambassadors earlier in the show, and they were awful. Curzon's awful and is an ambassador.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be that in a time of overwhelming peace, there's no real need for good ambassadors, so they just give it to people that they just want to get rid of or feel like they need to give something to them.
In the TOS movies, some of the ambassadors conspired to assassinate the Klingon Chancellor.
Oh, hey, that DS9 episode from earlier was one of the ambassadors was a Vulcan, and he was not evil.
There's also I think I don't understand with ambassadors in Star Trek is how Federation planets they have ambassadors to each other within the Federation, and Federation members have ambassadors to the Federation, which makes even less sense considering that each planet has a representative in the Federation Council.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like real life. Ambassadors are just overstuffed bureaucrats.
Yeah.
Like all the diplomats are from Nordic countries like Sweden and Norway and stuff. And one of the reasons is they have such high taxation rates, so it pays off to be an international diplomat because you don't have to pay taxes on your salary. Yeah.
Oh, careful, Rom. Oh, Rom almost walked into the matte painting at the end of the hall. Yeah, good for Rom. It's like, good job, man. He saved Nog. And he actually stood up for someone for once.
I gotta say, these writers are at their stride. I already said that. At this point where Odo's saying that, Odo Curzon is saying, I just want to sneak around the room, just have fun. We already have the character. They're already developed. Now we're just, having fun with, the motif. And to do that in 3 seasons is a pretty big accomplishment. Gotta give it to him. Next Gen isn't as well developed at this point of this many episodes, the way Deep Space Nine is.
Yeah, TNG is pretty good. But next season TNG, I think, will be the best one. Whereas DS9, right. Yeah, it's for sure already pretty much there.
Yeah, it's baked. I mean, they had a lot to play on, too. Not for nothing, Babylon 5 was kind of an influence on Deep Space Nine. Also, Next Gen also had, a lot of the same production people, Michael Piller, Rick Berman, and stuff. So, it helps to have experienced production, a proven audience, studio backing.
Yep, it's confession time.
Wait, I gotta watch this more carefully, because I still didn't get this.
Odo or Curzon?
But this is pretty creepy because he must have been like 50 at this point, and she's a university student, like 18 or something applying. So I don't think the guy on the admissions board should be really like touching the face of a university applicant.
Well, he's not on the commission board anymore.
Why does he derail her application? He's just explaining it right now. I'm just
Because
trying.
he couldn't be objective in evaluating her because he loved her.
Okay. So
And he was trying to like lie to himself.
okay. He just wanted to be
It's
fair
kind of-
to the process.
It's kind of weird. I love you so much that I want us like I want you to become me and me to become you. Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to make it happen. I don't want anyone to say I put my thumb on the scale to make it happen.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hey, welcome back, Michael.
We're kind of gonna get this plot in Discovery. Kinda.
With who?
I can't go into detail, but, you know, with
Oh, okay.
everything that's going on.
Sorry. Never mind. I forgot. My child.
Yes, in a
Why
much
would
less
she
creepy
never
way.
have known this? Like, this is just a memory. She should know all of this.
Right.
Who?
Right.
Well, it wasn't convenient to the plot before.
Basically, you only get like real talk with your host during this ceremony. Otherwise, it's just like kind of a haze. Like, yeah, we coexist, we're buddies, but like you don't get the most secrets. Like,
Yeah, but they know everything the previous host knew.
I think it's more like they influence each other. Because remember, like they're talking about balancing and like your body and like also
But
like
they have-
unconsciously. Remember when Kira
But they
like
have-
was
oh, sorry, go
like data or whatnot, like she said like I stand with my hands behind my back. So your trill your host, your symbiont unconsciously influences you. You don't know everything about it.
Though you do have very specific memories.
That's true. Like she even talks about later. She remembers dying. Like remember the guy who died in the plane in the shuttle crash.
Yeah, they definitely
She
share
remembers
memories.
Those last moments. Yeah. Which I mean, you know, like that's not something you forget, right? Like planes going down and you're in the cockpit.
Ah, it's cool, Nog. You can wear it. I assume that is, in fact, the real one, in terms of costume reuse.
I like how they wear the thing on the back of their neck. They don't really have to wear it. But it's more like you could imagine a turban or like a head covering for certain.
I like how the Ferengi head thing matches the division color. Oh, hey, Morn. Nog, what have you done?
When I first asked for root beer in my house, we didn't know what it was either.
That's not Curzon. But Curzon said you liked being Curzon Odo. Curzdo? Odon?
Curzodo.
I wonder if Curzon would have liked the Cardassian neck trick.
Everybody likes the Cardassian neck trick.
It's amazing.
Well,
It's really
except
fun to
Odo.
watch.
I mean,
But I mean, you were
And
still
he
physically
never
changing.
will.
You still couldn't eat or drink. What are you talking about, Odo?
yeah, no, and you don't have taste buds, but okay.
I think he's saying like he got part of Curzon's memories of that.
I guess.
Right.
Too bad he'll never really know what it means to be a solid.
Yep, he will never get to experience it for himself.
The fascination with bubbles in a drink.
All right, that was that. I think I preferred, I think I preferred Shakaar, but it was still good.
It's the
The
same thing for
acting
me
was fun in
with
this episode, though.
yeah. I mean, it's the same thing
Yeah,
with me in Mirror Universe episodes. I like watching the actors play a different version of their character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more fun than actual meaning. Like Shakara is probably more meaningful to the whole plot of these early seasons, but this is.
I just like the
fun.
quarry.
It's the same thing like with last night. They're like hamming it up in the holodeck.
All right, so the next episode is going to be The Adversary. 1 minute countdown, and it's also going to deal with shapeshifters. Because, Odo's in it. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Well, I'm going to be off. I've got work early tomorrow, so
Oh,
have a nice watch.
well, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, my boss wants to meet me. Come in at 7:30, so
Oh,
woohoo!
well, that sounds like a him problem.
Yeah.
No, all right.
See you.
I'll see you.
Yeah.
I don't get what his problem is. Like, you have to get in at work at 7:30.
But he's also... Wait, who said that? That was Rob? Mr.
Yeah.
Deutschland? Yeah, are you the same time zone or an hour later?
I'm an hour ahead of him. It's 10:30 here. It's 9:30 for him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Central European time is 1 hour ahead.
Also, I just realized I did not hit start on the countdown. I hit start on the timestamp. Okay. So, 30-second countdown to The Adversary. If you press play before, cue back to 0. Because, we're very professional. I'm very, very well prepared for this. 15 seconds to The Adversary. I'm actually watching the countdown timer now. Don't worry. I've got it. Everyone press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, we did it. Commander's log. Not captain's log. Commander's log.
One last time.
I think yeah.
So I think
We're
that's
going to
how
solve
the
that
next
problem in
Oh,
about
yep.
30 seconds. You need to shave your head. There we go. No more commander.
Well, I've got good news about the episode next week.
Next week? Which episode is next week? Way of the Warrior?
From the look of it, he has a shaved head.
It's going to be very important.
Yep, shaved head. Just checked.
Yeah, of course you don't care about rank your title. We don't even know what your rank is. You're just there.
Constable. Whatever that
That's not a rank. He doesn't have a rank. He's the constable, but that doesn't actually mean anything. On Bashir's account? How old is Sirik Lofton here? He looks like... Well, I think we already established before he looks younger than he is. So, add a couple years to the age he looks. He's probably like 19. Actually, no, wait, he was 14 in season 1, wasn't he? So he would be 16 or 17
so
now.
Rock Laughlin was born in 1978. This episode was in 95.
17. A coup d'etat in the Zenkethi homeworld.
Do they speak French there?
They do if you're French and you go to see them. You want to show the flag, so you're sending your only warship. I'm sure you are, Ambassador.
Ambassador.
Ambassador. But don't worry, all ambassadors are good guys. It's
and
fine.
He is a totally legitimate ambassador.
Like the Romulan. He was a good Romulan.
That's always so awkward. Ugh.
What about that time they translated that into Klingon because they couldn't use Happy Birthday? I don't remember the exact words, but it sounded like Lokas Shokana I Predok. I'm just phonetically. That's all I got. Why do you want a full complement of photon torpedoes? Oh, I don't like this lingering shot. Oh, something's gonna happen. This is bad news for O'Brien. Something gonna fly by in the background? Is someone gonna peek around the corner? No, skittering noises. I don't know if we ever hear about the Zenkethi again. I don't remember ever hearing about them again. Oh, that is another evil angle. Can never trust a shot like that. Yeah, we never see the Zenkethi. We never see them, we just hear about them.
There you go. That's the Jolly Good Fellow in Klingon.
Wait, where? I don't see it anywhere. Where did you put it?
YouTube.
Oh, right, because you posted a link, didn't you?
No, just the text.
Just the text? Oh, there it is. I see it now. Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce that.
There's the link for it.
Well, you can't post a link because it's... Links get automatically filtered out, which is why I asked. I have no idea how to read that. Like, I know it's completely incorrect. It's like Cha World Chokana Chori Pre Cha. Yeah, no clue. Not a clue. Yeah, we've seen Zenkethi in beta canon. I think we see Zenkethi in Star Trek Online. Yeah, they look pretty weird. Like here's Geordi and what's probably a Zenkethi. There's some Zenkethi in armor. So apparently these are the people we're gonna go show the flag to in our warship.
I just throw into translator.eu. The Klingon to English translation is Platineve's Pizza, Platineve's Pizza. Do Barak has a tumak. What?
I don't know.
It's amazing.
Cassidy Yates. Who else? That's the only she we care about that we could be talking about right now, Cisco. What are you doing, Dax? What is she doing with her head?
A little sway, a little swivel.
Really channeling her inner Emily, perhaps? And she's a Maquis. Oh, sorry, we don't know that yet. He'll probably be fine with that fact, though. And everyone on this station is such a gossip. They all just want to know the personal details of everyone else. Can't we just have a private relationship with someone? The
Hello there,
1960
not traitor.
It's okay, I think Eddington's cool here. Eddington's a nice guy in this episode.
Why is Odo the cloaking device guy?
I was just wondering why Odo's here at all. Why is Odo on the Defiant? I guess just because we don't have Worf yet? Yeah, Odo, shouldn't you be handling security on the station? What are you doing here? Other than, plot convenience later on.
Odo knows exactly. Odo knows this is a Changeling episode, so he has to be here.
Okay. And just mentally insert some camera dolly rolling sounds here.
Oh, this makes me so angry.
What's
I
wrong?
had to rewatch the actual scene and then listen to the orchestrated version of it.
What's wrong with the camera dolly?
To cleanse my palate.
Yeah, Eddington's the Starfleet security chief. I don't know why Odo's here other than it's a Changeling episode.
I was very lucky to be able to watch them perform Inner Light in person. It was really cool.
Neat.
It's a full Philharmonic or whatever in San Francisco.
Oh, there's some spooky sounds going on in the Jeffries tube.
Right behind that painting.
Oh, that... Oh, that seems legit. You had it in your mouth, but now you have it in your hand.
There we go again.
We love engineering extension courses. Is Bashir allowed to do that? Like, regardless of whether he's capable? Surely that's against the rules. He's not the engineer.
Well, Miles seems cool with it.
Well, he's gonna go check on his work at a minimum, but... I guess he won't... I guess Bashir knows he won't tell Odo because they're friends. And, more than friends.
There you go.
Well, he did a good job. I guess that's all that matters. When did 7 of 9 get in trouble for modifying systems? I'm sure it happened, just because of the nature of 7 of 9, but I don't remember when. I remember that happened to Travis Mayweather when he went to visit his mom's ship.
I do vaguely remember the scene. It was probably like 2 or 3 episodes into her being there. She got yelled at because there is a way we do this, and she was not doing it the right way.
Okay. I like how Cisco's mug is on brand. Man, they trust Eddington so much considering he sabotaged the ship earlier. They're completely cool with him. What did she say? I still am not totally keen on them wearing their guns in those easily accessible holsters. That's barely being held on. What about you, Eddington? Is this why he joined the Maquis? Because he didn't get to be the captain that he wanted? Actually, you know what? That's probably true. Because Eddington's whole thing is he wanted to be a hero. He didn't particularly care how. If he was a captain, he'd get that chance. Security chief, he just has to do what he's told. Yeah, if they just promoted Eddington, everything would have been fine. The last Federation Zenkathi War. Hang on, the way he said that, he didn't just say, since the Federation Zenkathi War, the last Federation Zenkathi War. How many have there been? How often has the Federation gone to war with the Zenkathi?
Let's take a look.
At least twice. I guess that's why everyone's so happy about just patrolling the border and basically threatening the Zenkathi here. That's quite an assumption.
Again.
Are you sure you want to make that assumption, Captain? Odo's the comms officer here? Why is Odo the comms officer? I guess he needs something to do. Do you want to just go home? Go home and tell people?
Go along home.
Do they have a shuttle they could use? Actually, for real, do they have a shuttle on the Defiant?
They have a shuttle pod. I don't think those are warp capable though.
But it would have a transceiver. Its own dedicated transceiver array. They could send a message with the shuttlecraft. Then again, nobody ever thinks to use the shuttles. Except like one time they talk about using the transporter. And it doesn't even work. Yeah, the Defiant's pretty small, but a really basic shuttle pod is pretty small as well.
I'll say a shuttle pod hasn't really changed since the Enterprise timeline.
And basic shuttle pods, they're awful. Why do they exist? They can't go to warp. They don't have any meaningful weapons. They can't do much of anything.
I guess you could say that about the Galileo series as well.
Were the Galileos
have
the TNG ones?
The
Because those are
TOS
worthless
ones.
too. Yeah, those
They
were
didn't
worthless.
have warp capable shuttles until TNG season 3, probably.
The ones we have in TNG right now still aren't warp capable, I think. And we're on season 3.
And yes, to save money on the transporter effect.
Who was it, Chief? That's pretty sketchy. Yes, we are.
You did it.
It was definitely Julian.
Except you.
Oh no.
Sabotage?
Wait, you didn't tell Eddington what you're planning here? Oh, I guess security chief's in the dark about this. Okay, seems like a good strategy. I mean, I remember O'Brien, the episode where he was replaced with the replicant, I think they call him. He was evil there. Has Jadzia ever been evil? Has Jadzia been the bad guy? I don't think she has. I think Jadzia's always... I think she's always the good person. I mean, there's Duran, but Duran only comes out when... I mean, in the last episode, when he literally comes out of Jadzia. Julian is acting weird here. He's acting so distracted. Eddington, what are you doing? Now listen to the background chatter. Okay, we did it. We solved it. This is why Odo is here. That is his entire purpose on the Defiant. He's just here to interact with the Changeling. And Renee is doing his shocked face, of course. It's very important. Unfortunately for the crew, that is a much better changing than Odo. Odo's not that great at it. He's very obvious. And he's pretty slow. That changing just got out of there instantly. Did the changeling change the lighting too? Did it turn into the mood lighting?
He likes the changeling likes some dramatic lighting.
Okay. Are they not able to go to warp? Or not that. Are they still not able to transport while at warp? Is that a thing?
That's
that a limitation?
the Kelvin timeline.
Yeah, I remember in Kelvin they solve it, but I don't remember it ever being a limitation. But I guess it is.
Yeah, I don't think they ever resolve it in the Prime timeline.
Okay. Well, they will eventually, because Scotty's the one... Scotty is described by Spock as being the one who solves it.
Oh, remind me
So
to talk about Prime timeline wackiness in Season 3.
Okay, I mean, we can talk about it right now. Nothing's really going on. It's fine.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, for Discovery.
Okay. Yeah,
There's-
Scotty
there's
is... Scotty has to be doing that in his retirement after he gets recovered from the Dyson sphere. Just working on transporters. Which makes sense, given that he was transporting kind of saved his life on that Dyson sphere. Another war between the Zenkathi and the Federation. Would it? How powerful are the Zenkathi? They're not powerful enough to be mentioned in the actual Dominion War. Do they matter?
But he can replicate any other thing that's non-humanoid perfectly.
No matter how complicated. Down to the absolute atomic level.
Like, you cannot tell me that a whatever hawk down to the feather level is not incredibly difficult.
But humans are special. Do you think... So, humans and most of the great apes look very similar to each other. Could he replicate another great ape? Perfectly just because it's not a human?
He could be the Sasquatch.
Could he be a Tholian? Or, because Tholians are sentient, would that be inherently complicated? Even though
they're
just...
crystals. They're low res.
Yeah, they're easy to render. They're like PlayStation 1 aliens.
There you go. He'll turn into a Horda. No kill. No kill.
But Horda are sentient, and that means he's not able to for some reason. No matter how simple.
Oh no, he can do a Horda, a kind of like PS2 level graphics.
Okay. Does Odo ever actually turn into anything other than a human? I mean,
like when he gets his powers back, he turns into a hawk.
I mean, in terms of like an actual sentient species. Because he doesn't have Bajoran nose ridges, even though I would assume that's what he's supposed to be. But I don't remember him actually growing nose ridges. Actually, hang on. That episode where they oh, what is it? Children of Time. The episode where they crash on the planet and meet their, like, future children because of a, time paradox.
Yeah, but he does, but I think he said he had a couple hundred years of practice.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, was he a Bajoran there or a human? Did he have nose ridges? I don't remember.
Give me a second. No nose ridges.
No nose ridges.
In fact, he just has a more humanoid nose, if anything.
That's weird. That's really weird that he wouldn't be trying to be a Bajoran.
Yeah, it looks like they just didn't do any makeup on his nose.
Oh no, that actress from the Changeling in the Chase is definitely the female Changeling DS9. Same actress. Salome, Jens. I don't know how to pronounce either of her names. Same actress, though, for sure.
Yeah, Salome Jens.
But if the Changeling took out just O'Brien, that would have solved it immediately. Yeah, Salami Jeans. That's her name. Oh, is this the episode where they invent blood tests? The blood tests that never find a single changeling.
So they should just shoot each other.
Yes. Shoot absolutely everyone.
Shoot each other.
Yeah, this bully knows what's up. That is a lot of yellow shirts on this ship. Is absolutely everyone in yellow? It's not a main cast member?
That's quite an attitude for an ensign.
It's okay, she's not actually Starfleet. He can say whatever he wants.
She's his commanding officer.
But she's not Starfleet.
She's still his boss.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
There should be a boom at the end.
Where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be
hits
an
a
earth-shattering
wall, I'm just
kaboom.
saying.
Oh, there's a matte painting. Behind Dodo. It's all blurred out so you can't tell as well, but it's definitely a painting.
Matte paintings in my Star Trek?
It's more likely than you think.
That is a question I would love to ask them if I ever got to go to a Star Trek panel. What was it like going into TNG Season 3 when they finally ditched the non-stop matte paintings?
But if they stopped them, then why are they still using them here? They used one here. They used one in the Nog episode.
Correction, the non-stop matte paintings for planets.
Or the most notable matte painting that's not a planet. The one in the in Wesley's coming of age episode. When he has to do the psych test. It's the most obvious
that
matte
one
painting
is so bad.
in the entire
bad. Oh my God.
franchise. It's the best. It's amazing.
I just noticed almost everyone's given up on talking to us.
Yeah, everyone just kind of left. I mean, they're still in the Discord, but, you know, they don't like us anymore. So if anyone in the YouTube chat wants to come and replace them, wants to replace the people who abandoned us,
Hannah, you should come in and replace. You're already very chatty, so I think you
Yeah.
have a lot to say. You seem to
Oh.
you seem to know what you're doing.
CGI effect. Hey, Changeling, what's going on? Man, now I have to actually work on my own show.
What?
I can't just rely on other people doing all the work for me. What is the point of this?
I could mute you, and then I'll just keep talking.
Oh, okay. Okay, go on. You do you. It's your show now.
So there's a phaser, and there's a guy. So I like that guy, and okay, that's good. Oh no, he almost is a terrible ensign. Oh no, I have nothing to say.
Oh no.
She does sound angry like Kira.
Yeah, this
Oh,
this bullying is
ironic,
real
Star here.
paranoid.
And she's talking really slow too, yeah.
Oh, Harmonics, you got some echo going on over there.
Hey, welcome.
Do you remember
This
the
ensign
episode
just doesn't
Tarok
listen to
Nor,
anybody.
where some of the people get really
Thank you.
paranoid? Is Isn't there a paranoid bully in there too? I think there might be. And the plan immediately fell apart. You solved absolutely nothing. Oh, yeah. Test 1, test 2.
Test 1, test 2.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Test 2.
Yep, you're good. Yeah, unfortunately, everything they're just guessing here, but they're completely wrong. Blood test will literally never work.
And gelatinous state is finally what they. I don't know if they used that before, but that's a good way to put it.
Aren't they able to just scan with their tricorder to determine if it's a changeling?
Mm-mm.
Apparently not, because if you scan Odo while he's a rock, you'll just find a rock. Oh, that's right. It's Empoknor, not Teroknor. Teroknor is a different one. Wait, what?
They do this like 3 times in this episode. Like, play who's the changeling, and it's so annoying at this point.
Is that a cat? That looks like a cat to me.
A cat.
Hang on, I don't know how to actually
That's why my
move this anywhere. I don't know how to move this window onto YouTube.
Aww. My cat's almost the same color. She's gray and white also.
My cat shut the door on me. She walked into the room I was in and shut the door behind her.
All right, here's the cat,
Just trying
everyone.
to get a reaction out of me.
She's got something to tell you in private.
All right, this is the stream from now on. It's a cat. I had to move my show. I had to move Star Trek to the other screen, but here's the cat.
That's so much better.
There's Herr Deutschland on the left, not the cat. Herr Deutschland is not the cat, I assume.
Deutschland. The cat is a changeling.
We do have at least 2 cats in Star Trek so far. At least 2.
So apparently the way this is pulled off is really interesting. Because remember how we talked about Odo drinking from a glass before? And it's lessened by...
Oh, what are you doing, cat?
Are you talking about Discovery?
No, I'm talking about Odo. I think they said at some point later, right? Odo can drink out of a glass, but he's not really drinking. He's just returning the fluid back into like his body or whatever.
Yeah.
So the same way here, because it's turned out that
Oops,
the person who was holding the vial was a changeling.
Oh, major plot point.
Right. So because Julian was holding the vial, and he was the
Jesus.
changeling, he stimulated the blood, turning into gelatinous goo.
Yeah, did you see the wall that Cisco just shot? He made this giant rift in the wall with his phaser. That thing was not on the lowest setting. He just disintegrated a hallway.
He was ready to disintegrate the changeling.
Yeah, we got double the Siddiq. Are they going to do the thing where they try to blow up the ship and then the countdown shuts down because of the changeling? Are they going to do that? Because, I mean, if they do, they could just go and shoot the warp core. It's a very direct way to solve that problem.
With the changeling on it?
Yeah.
This could be a The Thing episode.
Yeah, so there's self-destructing the ship. But, of course, I don't remember if it's they shut down the self-destruct because they found the changeling, or the changeling shuts down the self-destruct. I don't remember how it goes.
The changeling doesn't stop it. They choose to stop it.
Okay.
Wouldn't they just want to reinforce their shields and get the hell out of there?
Well, the issue is just if they don't destroy the ship's going to go and start a war with the Zenkathi. They don't have much choice.
We did never hear from again, right?
Oh,
Since.
the cat's gone, so we don't care about you anymore.
We're done with Cat. Oh,
The cat is done.
I'll let you know if she decides that she's ready to return.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
if you're Herr Deutschland, is that Fraulein Deutschland? I like how in German
Yeah.
So
the word for woman is Fräulein, and the word
is Frau?
for a married woman is Frau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't do
Which-
Fraulein here anymore since like the 60s.
Okay. Which,
Yeah,
I mean, fair enough, because that's roughly when my German teacher left Germany, so.
Because it was just.
It's needlessly complicated.
It was dumb. Some people consider it slightly sexist.
It is.
'Cause
But so
you're
is Miss and
redefining a
Mrs.
woman.
That's completely pointless.
Yeah, so they just said Frau.
But the point, just in terms of a language perspective, if the terms are Frau and Fräulein, I like how Fraulein is woman alone to mean an unmarried woman. It's a very literal statement.
It's German.
You can call someone
technically
woman, or you
correct.
can call someone woman alone.
It's technically correct,
Well,
and
it's
in
interesting 'cause
German,
in
technically
Spanish-
correct is the best kind of correct.
Yes. In Spanish?
So in Spanish, it would be senora and senorita. So
Yeah.
senorita is like a diminutive, so it's a little lady or like a lady. So like, why would you call someone? And like, by the way, by senorita, they also kind of virginity is implied in there, right? Or unmarried or virginity.
Okay.
Like, kind of the same back then.
Oh,
so
double the Odo.
modesty, yeah.
Double your fun.
Yeah, that's
Good.
what happened before when.
Yeah, it's interesting what kind of extra information goes into a language.
From
Is it-
what?
How could,
Was that
yeah,
anything
how could the changing
personal
have figured
about it?
that out?
Well, I mean, just like apparently the revolutionary '60s happened all over the world.
God, just shoot them both. Just shoot both Odos.
Only has one phaser, by the way, so you can't keep your phaser on both.
Shoot the one that looks angry.
So he said like senorita means like small woman or little woman? Is that true?
Yeah, it's a diminutive. I mean, it means unmarried woman. Like, but the ita part, whenever you know,
But ita
whenever
is
you
a
wanna
suffix that
diminutize
generally
something,
applies.
or
Okay.
diminutive. So for
Little
example, you know, Chico, right? So Chico is boy, so Chiquito is like the little boy.
Okay, because
So-
German has Mädchen, where the chin suffix also means small, where Mädchen means a girl.
Mm-mm-mm.
And remember, it's Das because
Das Mädchen.
reasons.
Das, which is the neutral,
Duh.
as opposed to die, which is the feminine, and der, which is the masculine. Which we should also just get rid of in German, because those are pointless as well.
Because it's plural.
Gendered nouns, just get rid of gendered nouns. They're just complicated and they add nothing.
So what they're doing here is interesting. I think he's trying to force him to link, and he's like trying to stop him. From
They're
linking.
actually getting it on right now, according to how changelings work.
Yeah.
No, but Odo is resisting, and at a later point he stabs him back. So it's more like he's stabbing him, or like. He's
So
saying
if you
link
call a
between
woman
person.
senorita, you could imply that she's promiscuous. So you got to be
Or
careful with calling
unmarried.
her that.
I mean,
Yeah.
little lady. You're
So
a
apparently you can also use shapeshifting to attack people.
You can like turn your arm into like a liquid stick. Odo becomes he's like most wanted after this.
He's shapeshifting to attract people.
And
Oh,
he
he's all flaky.
didn't intentionally kill him. He just pushed them away. But
Yeah,
I guess that's enough for them.
that counts.
Changeling
That's
has been
space
living
murder.
with Changeling for 1,000 years.
Ever.
Yeah, so he's a pariah.
Yeah. No
One of these
changing has
people.
ever harmed another.
Plus, this changeling was trying to blow up the ship, you know, so or like
That would have harmed Odo.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't trying to blow up the ship. He was trying to get it to
war.
start a war with the Zenkathi.
Good. That saves the money on the cremation for the funeral home.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
It's already done.
if they don't go to war, what are they going to do in the 4th season?
Well, maybe instead of going to war, we could just go to war.
Bajor must not join the Federation. That's what my prophecy says.
I think technically we don't go to war until... Does the war officially start in season 6?
Which one?
The Dominion War.
The Dominion Wars.
I mean, it's like, did World War II begin in 1939 or 42? Like
We get a lot of build-up.
Because right, so like when one could argue technically when the Klingons and the Cardassians go to attack the home world, or what is it? Klingons invade Cardassia. That's when the war starts, right?
Technically, the War of the Federation doesn't start until Call to Arms, which is the end of Season 5, because that's when they take the station.
Right.
Which is pretty much a declaration of war right there.
Okay, true.
Sorry, I literally have every episode queued up, so I can find them very fast.
Okay.
That's good. No, we appreciate that kind of knowledge of history. History of the future.
What did he whisper?
They could do like a Bush preemptive strike kind of thing. Just shoot all the soldiers.
Rosebud. Oh.
What?
Oh no.
He didn't say Rosebud? Oh. Dramatic spooky music.
This show's already baked by the time we're in like this middle of the 3rd season. Amazing. End of the 3rd season.
Alright, we are now done with Season 3. Season 3 is over.
Really?
Now Season 4 is my best friend.
Way of the Warrior.
Way of the Warrior, probably... I think that's my favorite episode, or technically 2 episodes, in DS9.
And the
I think
Visitor.
Way of the Warrior is peak DS9.
And yeah, I agree. I agree. Like these past 4 or 5 episodes we've been watching are peak for me.
Big fan of Starship Down. I think
Yep.
I really like that one. This is just a really good season. I mean, we have Bar Association, Our Man Bashir,
I mean, the Sword of Kalos is weird, but it's fine.
Ascension's good, Hard Time is really good. I mean, To the Death. I mean, we
It's
get
cool
way
to bring
back.
back Kalis.
Homefront and Paradise Lost are amazing.
Little
Is it-
Green Men.
Is Hippocratic Oath a good one?
Which did you say?
Hippocratic Oath
The
is
second one.
Returning from
it's
the
a
mission
good
in the Gamma
it's a
Quadrant?
good moment for Bashir.
Yeah, it's all about the Gem Hadar and Bashir's... I mean, it's about the Hippocratic Oath, really. It's in the title. It's all about
looking at
Bashir's
looking ahead, it
ethics.
doesn't look like much of a battle. Like a
Oh
war.
no, there's no battle.
Just the next
Our Man
part
Bashir,
now.
which is the 007 episode, right?
Yep. Which almost
just
got them
reading.
sued by the estate.
And then
GM, yeah.
They technically bring it back later on. That's the one where Odo interrupts them mid-hall suite and he goes and knocks on the window to the car.
Mhm.
Oh, hang on, we're bringing the cat back.
Yay!
We've got a cat.
She is deigned to return.
He's live, folks.
Oh god, next season is Hard Time. Oh no.
But in Little Green Men, they go back in time, like that original series episode when they have the fighter pilot from the U.S. Air Force aboard.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
They go back. Yeah.
Next
We
season,
get to see some
Tomorrow is
fight
just
scenes
good.
with Worf.
next season is going to be the introduction of Wayoon.
Mm.
Yes.
We get to meet Wayoon. Only near the end of the season, but we'll get him.
He dies.
Wayun 4.
He dies.
Wei Yun 4 was a great man.
But they always bring him back because it's Star Trek.
Because
it's
they
the
love
chain
him so
ones.
much.
Everybody loves Jeffrey Combs. He's like the best actor they have.
You have an
I mean,
obsequious.
he plays 3 characters? I think just 3.
In this show.
administrator. And you know, like the scenes when at the end of the show when they're when they're bombing all the other planets and leading the war from Cardassia, it's like just that the mediator between Cardassians and the founder. They just like make the whole series because it's like that's the comedy relief between like the awful war and everything.
Yeah, I really appreciate how they do have those comic relief episodes in them. Like, they have a string of really dark episodes, and then they have one that's just a pure comedy, just to relieve the tension a bit.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
sorry.
mean, because... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But you go ahead.
I was just going to say, because, I mean, you have Starship Down, which is a pretty heavy episode, and then it follows up immediately with Little Green Men. Like, and then we have, Return to Grey, Sons of Moog, Bar Association.
Completely different.
Yeah, they're mixing it up. They're writing.
We also get to meet Cisco's dead wife again, so that should be fun.
For the
Jennifer-
cause, yeah.
Jennifer, baby.
So these
But-
Same
Green
thing,
Men,
we
is
do
that in,
a
Next
plague
Generation?
episode followed by Body Parts.
Yep. Next week is going to be a very interesting week, because we're going to have The Way of the Warrior, which is amazing, The Visitor, which everybody loves, and Hippocratic Oath, which is also really good. Next week's going to be great. Way of the Warrior, The Visitor, and Hippocratic Oath. Let's see what's up for TNG. TNG is not going to be Best of Both Worlds next week. That's going to be the week after.
And those of you who skipped yesterday, we did 4 episodes yesterday.
Yeah,
So
we
the
watched...
timing of the schedule.
Yeah, we messed with the schedule a
went-
little
we
bit
went
just so we could get the trio of Best of Both Worlds, Family, and Brothers as a trio.
We were off the chain yesterday.
Next
Yeah, we
week,
had the fourth
TNG...
one, the most
Next
toys.
week, TNG is going to be Sarek, Menage a Troy, and Transfigurations, which is really weird. Transfigurations feels like another season 1 episode.
It
Just in
is a
premise.
really awkward episode.
It kind of feels like a TOS episode, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was something that someone here wanted to talk about Discovery and Prime Timeline stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers.
Okay, we're going to be talking about Discovery Season 3. If you don't want to hear about Discovery Season 3, go away. We don't want you here. No. We'll be back next week if you don't want to hear about that.
Burnham calls the burn.
All right, go ahead.
The Carl called it
Carl?
the Prime Timeline.
Yeah.
That
the doctor.
was ridiculous. Like, wait, what?
The
The Guardian.
Oh, okay. Okay, now I know what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Carl.
He's Carl.
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 Guardian. Okay, guys.
It is kind of weird that he specifically calls it out as Prime Timeline, but
And then he calls the other one the Mirror Universe.
yeah,
True. That's true.
it's
It just
okay.
happens to be the one we're living in, right?
I'm not that bothered by it, but it is weird.
Yeah,
Like,
and in the
dude, you are an
mirror- in the mirror
interdimensional
universe, they
being,
call it the
and
actual
that's-
universe.
Hey man, he was right.
No, I mean, I guess maybe like there is a prime universe and then there's chain universes, and he should, but like in other words, the parallels episode and everything, like we're the real universe, guys. Everybody else is just aberrations.
You know what? Oh, hang on. I just realized there's something I can... Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh no. Hang on. There we go.
I also got to give him
Ryan's
credit.
really got it going on.
Yeah, we got the cat still there. Oh, oh,
Cat.
Well done. I approve.
yes.
And then stretch it out. There we go.
Very well
There we
done.
go. We're pure cat. That's all we need.
Now I don't
Hopefully
have
the
to
cat-
awkwardly lean over.
Yeah, hopefully the cat doesn't move. Because I can't
She's in
really
her spot.
I can't really adjust the position. This isn't like I zoomed in on it. I just cropped the whole frame.
Okay. I'll have a cat
She
ready.
was
when
just
next
looking at the camera for a while.
Mhm.
Likes the
She's
camera.
chilling.
Feels watched. Oh, whoa. There she goes.
See, I just-
I gotta give him credit though. The way they did the "I am the Guardian of Forever" from the '60s, and they like
Mix it in the voice?
Did the audio? Yeah. That was a good tribute because you can't remake that stuff, and on the other hand, you have the difficult task of remaking it. So to just at least do the 3D of the original is kind of an homage. Like this isn't going to be a new thing.
I liked the new thing about about Carl's sort of new personality, and I liked the original Guardian of Forever.
Yeah.
He changed a bit over the 1,000 years since we last saw him,
Yeah, they gave him a face.
True.
and they gave him a sense of humor.
A good one.
Right, and
too.
I like the newspaper thing they did too.
I bet the other guys on the stream roll their eyes when they watch that show.
That was-
offense.
I loved the Guardian. I loved Carl. Carl is amazing. We need
But,
more Carl. We're
I'll
not
say,
going
yeah.
to.
Did you see all of the TOS references on
the newspaper?
Oh no,
I-
I didn't.
Let me
Yeah,
see if I
there
can
are
find a compilation of those.
multiple TOS to that episode on the newspaper.
Yeah, there was a lot of information on that. I wish they had
Yeah,
it
there was
more
a lot.
clear.
Yeah, he had two different newspapers. One when they met him, and one when they got back.
And
I'm
one
trying
is
to
Giorgio
find.
dies, and it has tomorrow's headline, and the other one is Giorgio. Forgot that one.
It was something like future uncertain.
Yeah.
But they talk about what was her name, Meredith, or whatever that character's name was.
Edith Keeler.
Thank you, Edith. Edith is mentioned in the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about that episode, the newspaper. I'm just trying to find the list of.
No, and it makes sense. It's like the Q continuum. It's like, how do you represent like an abstract realm to us? It's going to be the Civil War. It's going to be like a newspaper. It's going to be a guy in a top hat and a king.
Okay, so I found a list. It says Carl reads the latest edition of the Star Dispatch. That newspaper was previously in the projected alternate timeline where Edith Keeler survived in the city on the edge of forever. On the back of the paper is a review of the soup at the 21st Street Mission, which was the kitchen run by Edith Keeler.
Okay.
Below the review is a stylized quote, "Let me help." Keeler offered this sentiment to James Kirk, who countered that in the future, those words would be cherished even above "I love you." Multiple references. There was also a reference to "Supernova threatens to Khan Empire," which was from the TNG episode The Last Outpost, where the Takan Empire was extinct for a real long time.
And the Romulan and the Ferengi hissed and had whips.
Yep.
What?
It also said Starship USS Janolan reported missing, which the USS Janolan was the ship that Scotty was on when he crashed on the Dyson Sphere. And it went missing when he crashed.
Yeah, he hid in the transporter buffer.
Yep. There's a whole bunch of references on there.
Yep.
That's really cool. See, like, also, I feel like they figured out in season 3 how to pay the proper amount of tribute. And there's a comment I saw on Jesse Gender's channel, which I really liked. The comment said that, like, basically Discovery season 3 now is doing what Voyager and Enterprise didn't have the budget or, like, the studio ability to buy. The studio ability to do. So, which is true, right? Like, all the nacelles and the special effects and the future of the Federation. Like, Janeway was trying to do that when they were so remote, right? Like, trying to almost create like at one point in Voyager, we even have her trying to create like a Federation on this side of the thing, just in case we're never able to go back.
When does she do that?
I think it only was for an episode or two, but she's just like reaching out to, like, I think Chakotay mentions to her, like, we're gonna have to start making allies because we have a 40-year journey ahead of us.
Oh well, yeah, that.
But true, it never goes anywhere. I think they just like kind of reference it once.
What are thoughts on the Visitor episode?
Forget, but I'm sorry. One more thing. This episode of Discovery will be the 800th episode of Star Trek by Michael.
Okay.
What happened?
800 episodes, guys.
Usually
The
say
Visitor.
goodbye.
The Visitor, I mean, I think it's a really good episode. I've never cried at it, like a lot of people say they do, but it's really good.
Yeah. It's never
is
done
cryworthy.
anything for me. I think actually the last time I'm just like kind of, it's fine.
I think it would do really well as a short trek. I think if they trimmed it down a little, it might be better. Still really good as it is, though. And that's all we've got to say about that.
Right.
So, any other Discovery season 3?
Discovery Season 3, I don't know what the point of the music was. What did the music have to do with anything?
Oh yeah,
I guess we'll find out on
I think
Friday.
It's like a
or Thursday for y'all.
it's like a clue to the harmonic resonance, right? Like because 2 episodes ago, I believe, when they filtered out the radiation, it's not a music anymore. It's just
a distress
SOS
signal.
Right. So the distress signal became into like a musical notation kind of thing with the solar flare static through the nebula. And then
So
that's what got transmitted to the universe. And then that also got
Okay.
implanted to everyone's head, the melody of the SOS.
So in the distress call was a video, right? The hologram
Mhm.
that got what's his name? The captain all like
Saru.
upset. Saru, yeah. Saru was all like, "Oh, look, another." I can't remember the name. The names are
The
are
Elder?
slipping right now. He saw the same species on the
The
hologram.
the pregnant the captain.
The Kelpian lady.
The Kelpian, thank you. Yeah, we know when he saw the Kelpian, and then they rush over into the. But he's talking about when they decoded the.
Yeah, when they first discovered what the music was, and it was just a basic, like, booming distress call being filtered by the nebula. That was weird. I don't get how the nebula turned a basic, like, boom, boom, boom into just a song.
They didn't
Yeah.
really answer that in the show.
And by the way, it also got into people's brains because remember when Michael Burnham is asking that the admiral's deputy, the lady, she says like, "How does everyone know this song?" And she goes, "Some things are just in the ether." And then like Burnham just walks away. And, that's like the Star Trek writing
So-
going on.
I mean, Ryan, I was.
But,
sorry to
Oh.
interrupt. So you were talking about Carl, and I was actually wondering what you thought of that character. So it was good to hear kind of what you found humorous in the show, because I was tending to wonder if you watched the show with more with a critical eye, or just kind of enjoy it, sit back and relax.
Oh yeah, I don't really take Star Trek that seriously at all. Look, I know I run a whole Star Trek channel, I'm supposed to, but I just go with the flow on it. I'm fine with just whatever it does, really. If they do something I really don't like, it's like, whatever. I still have the Star Trek that I do like. It's fine.
Yeah,
But it's not as bad as the prequels. Like, remember the original Star Wars prequels? Everyone hated at the time. Although they've got.
I like the prequels.
I like them too now. Actually, I've watched enough YouTube commentaries, and also the sequels have been so terrible that everyone has to like the prequels now in retrospect.
But now, give it 15 years, I bet everyone's gonna be like, "I like the sequels."
Oh yeah, totally. As right before Discovery came out, when it was announced, I was making predictions that as soon as it came out and became the new fun thing to hate, that everyone was going to get way nicer about Enterprise, and I think that's pretty much borne out. I think people are coming around to that show.
I think they like Discovery, but they just like to say they don't. So
True.
It's just you gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I did watch a show on YouTube, and they were guy was saying, I hate reviewing the show because I have to watch it, and it was like, oh my gosh, you know. But mostly, especially from the Trekkies I know, like we all like the show, and the writers are really working hard at it, and I think they're like revising it as they go. So I tend to wonder when is the cutoff date for when they actually release the show onto the internet or on TV. But like,
So the cat's gonna run away, but I promise you she'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think that the writers of Discovery are watching the reviews on YouTube. Because I don't think season 3 was going to turn out the way it did.
It wouldn't have. But you know, like one thing I learned, right? Because I was looking up. I watched Babylon. I watched Babylon 5 like a year or two ago, and you know, being a diehard fan, it's actually when Discovery was coming on. I refused to pay Paramount for Discovery, so I watched Babylon 5. And I was just learning about some drama with an actress leaving, like basically how Terry Farrell left Deep Space Nine under like confusing terms. You know, like they didn't want to pay her, she wanted a raise, they weren't doing it. So
Rick Berman is being Rick Berman.
I mean, who knows, right? What goes on behind the scenes of the show every day. So you know, like a lot of actors, they don't want to get stuck in a single like show or character, right? Like you want to have a career afterwards, so you don't just want to be.
They don't want to be typecast. Yeah.
Right. 10 years. You don't want to be basically, you know, Steve Urkel, right? Like you never saw Jaleel White do anything again, really, right? Except for like maybe the occasional thing. So that's
the cat is eating. That's all I've got to say. Continue.
Yeah. So
it's her favorite time.
I was reading about Babylon 5. So Babylon 5 was released 93, 2 years before Deep Space Nine. And that's when they had like Usenet, or like the whole, like it was the first internet message board, and people were like really active on it. Like we've preserved a lot of these forums too. And so it was the first time you actually had the writers of a show engage with their audience, but also the first time you had like writers get feedback real time from like people who watched and be like, you know, get rid of this doctor, get rid of the ugly actor, whatever. And you know, the show. Yeah. So the showrunner of the show, he wrote that like I would advise all future showrunners not to read the fan hate mail that you're gonna get, because people are just gonna hate your material. And like Discovery got so much of that, Picard got so much of that. And sorry, that's the last thing I want to say. Like for example, you know, when you had 7 of 9 in Picard, I really liked that. I know people didn't like the Echeb thing. I loved it all. Like, you know, in other words, you had the development of a character, unfortunately the sacrifice of a beloved character. But like it's just to show the ugly galaxy, and people are like busy saying, "Oh, this is not Star Trek." It's like, you know, you don't understand that it's trying to show that the universe has changed since, you know, the Next Generation. Now we're harvesting Borg for parts.
So, in regards to how I generally treat Star Trek or new shows or new parts of shows that I generally am not too keen on, I have a quick YouTube video that I would like to play. Not one of mine, someone else's video.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go ahead and press play on that.
It's okay to not like things. It's okay, but don't be a dick about it. It's okay to not like things. Don't be a dick about the things you don't like.
It's simple. It's all you gotta do. It's okay to not like things.
I like that his house is on fire.
Just
like
you just don't have to leave hate comments on every single thing you don't like. Just it's fine. Just watch something else.
That's the thing. Like even like the sequels. Like I get it. They're not that good of movies. Like don't hate them.
I haven't even talked about them since I watched them, because I mean,
right? There's nothing.
They're just there. Other people are free to like them, and I think they were fine. But I'm not gonna freak out about it.
I do still remember that rush I got when episode 7 came out. Oh my god.
I made that same prediction I made about Enterprise about the prequels. When episode 7 was going to come out, it's like, oh, people are going to start loving the prequels now that they're not the newest thing to hate.
Right. I mean, the prequels did have flaws, by the way. Like, they were.
Oh
very
yeah.
flawed.
Oh for sure.
I think the most observant thing, and I'll be brief because like this is another hour-long kind of lecture. But like the thing is though, the fact that you had so much CGI and like he did everything like in green screen, it makes it hard for the actors to like really be in there if you don't have an actual set.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with the CGI itself. I'm fine with that, though some places it looks kind of awkward. But, like the romance plot though between Anakin and Padme is very awkwardly done.
Even the sand, right? Doesn't he say at one point the sand feels nice?
I mean,
in my hair?
No, he
Oh,
hates
no.
sand. It gets everywhere. It's so coarse.
It's coarse and rough and irritating. It gets honestly, he's right. I don't care what the issue is. He's completely right. Sand's the worst. It gets everywhere, and it's coarse and rough and irritating. He's completely correct. What's the issue?
Okay, why is this in a sci-fi film though?
I mean, it gets in your shirt too.
If you walk on the beach with your shoes on, it takes like a day to clean it out properly. There's always a few grains left no matter what you do.
Yeah, in my 7th grade school play yard, it was a sand kind of thing. And like we would all be taking exams, and the kid with the longer hair, like you would hear the particles of sand falling onto the paper while we're all taking an exam and being quiet.
Yeah. I think the issue wasn't the line, I don't like, or I hate sand, it's coarse and rough and irritating, it gets everywhere. I think the issue is with his follow-up to that, which was, not like here, everything is soft and smooth, and he like strokes her arm, and she cringes away from him. It's like, no, don't go touching the senator. Leave her alone.
Yeah,
Or when,
I mean, but
when
for
Padme says, don't look at me like that. It's like, why not? It makes me uncomfortable. And he just looks at her even creepier and says, sorry, milady. It's like, no, don't. Anakin, what are you doing?
Right, and
You can't
also
say that.
like when he's a little kid when she finds him, and then like the next movie he's like this 16-year-old, and it's like it's kind of weird.
And then he calls her creepy. Doesn't he?
Yeah, they have a 5-year age difference. 5-year difference.
Yeah.
Very precise.
I mean, that's what it is. I mostly know that because of the Weird Al song about Star Wars Episode 1, where one of the lines is, he's just 9 and she's 14. Oh, cat's gone, so we don't care about that anymore. Screen's blurred. Wait, the cat's back. Screen's unblurred.
She's still hungry.
Thanks. No, and I'm glad though. I think people have achieved a consensus that both that Discovery has achieved its stride with season 3, and it seems like 2 or 3 seasons at least get a show running. Even Michael Burnham is an actress, and the role that she plays. Because I remember, like, I didn't watch Discovery for the first few,
Shaniqua Martin Green.
And right, and so she was in a lot of things. And I remember the last thing I saw her from was The Walking Dead. She's always been an action hero. So it's interesting that they brought her on, because she's kind of a badass fighter. But
I like that there's so much
the
killing
thing is
around her character, and they're just unapologetic about it.
Right. But originally, though, the criticism was that she was wooden, but her character is also like Vulcan, kind of like culturally Vulcan. So kind of like like basically like Samuel L. Jackson in the prequels, Mace Windu. He's too dangerous to be kept alive.
And he was right.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying though, he's very wooden. Even though Samuel L. Jackson is a full range actor, George Lucas has his actors act like they're like stiff wooden dolls, just reciting their lines. And one could argue Michael Burnham was kind of doing the same thing at the beginning, and it's kind of awkward watching somebody who's wooden. But in this season, she opens up because she had a year to live with Book and everything until Discovery showed up again in the future. So now she's no longer like the Vulcan. And you see that tension in the episode when she goes back to Vulcan or like Navarre to negotiate. Is something funny, Deutschland? Like, am I cracking everybody up with my commentary?
What?
No, you're just smiling. Are you okay? Deutschland.
Oh no, I just love how my cat is on YouTube now.
Yeah, it's the most important part of the stream.
Oh, I was just trying to
much more important
to follow the conversation.
Forget it, man. Forget whatever I was saying.
I didn't have the movie covered up.
If we're talking about Sonequa Martin Green, I thought her acting was really weird in season 1. I think she's gotten a lot better. But in season 1, it seemed like she was talking at like 1.5 times speed.
Yeah.
There's so she
just talked real fast, and it was freaking me out.
There's a lot of like lines she says to try to be funny, which seem out of place. But I've rewatched Discovery about 2 or 3 times, and after you get to know kind of what the whole context is in her character and the rest of the crew, it makes sense, why they threw that little comedy bit in there.
You always need comedy bits.
But it's still really dry.
Sorry, I was saying before the we let me distract from the cat again for a second. That for example, I like the character Jar Jar Binks. Everybody hated him because it was such an annoying character. Like
That's Jar Jar, yes.
I like him.
But I recently saw it was on YouTube, one of those film critic channels, like Sideways or something, or like just every scene of every.
Was that cat okay?
She confuses easily.
I mean, does he have like a bad credit history?
The cat or Jar Jar?
Jar Jar.
What? So the thing is though, a really good YouTube channel though broke it down film wise. Jar Jar is kind of like represents the audience. Like every time we're in a new situation, the Naboo going underneath or fighting the Trade Federation, Jar Jar is kind of the person who the audience has to be explained to through Jar Jar. So without it, actually, the sequel films don't work. I was like, whoa, that's really...
Wait, I thought you were going to reveal that he's actually a Sith.
Well, we all already know that, I assume.
He created the Empire.
Well, Lucas backed down on it.
He's the one who the senator, he was the senator, right? I mean, the Palpatine told him to put in the motion to...
grant emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor.
A dictator for life. So Jar Jar did have a hand in that, clearly.
It was all part of his plan.
When you first meet him, he's that annoying character, and then at the end, even when he's like at the droid battle, he's like the most annoying thing. But in reality, though, if you just, it helps us follow through the plot to have like a novice character. That's gone.
Well, I mean, I just think it's ironic that Wesley is just so like smarter than the rest of the crew.
Yeah, the Traveler tells him that in the first episode.
Smarter than the rest of the crew.
The Traveler tells him that.
That's the only thing that could change Picard's mind, was some weird tall man who has an affection for young boys.
He was the Mozart of physics. I don't know what to tell you.
But here's the thing. We got to do a Wesley and the Traveler episode. When are we getting that? And it's
we already had them.
No.
Oh, do you mean a new one?
A series. Like.
Oh, okay.
And also it has to be like a 3D Wesley, like the way we did Luke Skywalker in the End of the Mandalorian.
A deepfake Wesley?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because maybe we can just have older Wesley with it, like the Q aged up Wesley with like his square jaw. He's all muscular. He's still wearing the rainbow sweater. And he can just be voiced over by Will Wheaton.
He's just floating in the M33 galaxy.
I mean, he can look however he wants. He's magic now.
What?
He's Magic Wesley.
Yeah, are we swapping out Wesley?
The actor who played the Traveler, he's only 61 right now.
Oh, he can show up again.
62.
Maybe he'll get a cameo in Picard Season 2. You never know. Maybe we'll get more Traveler.
But I mean, it's implied at the end of.
He's talking about when like Wesley's played by a different actor. With that episode that Q turns him into an adult.
Yeah.
There's this blonde hunk though.
So they're both
The adult who looks absolutely nothing like adult Will Wheaton.
Not even close.
It's just funny. I'm
Oh.
sorry. It also, you know, if
So
you
what
notice,
does adult Wesley like? I mean, does he ever grow up? Will we?
He
in Nemesis, he's at the wedding.
I mean, Will Wheaton has grown up, but
Oh.
because
Oh, so that's what adult Wesley looks like. He still looks like Wesley.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, it's clearly still the same man. If that's because they're both Will Wheaton. If that's what you mean.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he just looks so young.
He has a beard. He's a little chubbier these days.
Yeah.
But he was very thin as Wesley.
Like on the holodeck when he had long hair.
All right. Do we have anything else that we need to go over, or
Ryan's like, no.
are we all good?
Thanks for
He's
hosting.
about to
Thank
say
you for the
go
character
away.
slam.
Hey, that's my line.
Thank you, Old Mammoth. Thank you, Harmonix. Thank you, Michael.
We don't have the cat anymore, so everyone can just go away.
Thank you, Cat. Have a good day.
See you
And no
next
more
week.
Wesley talk.
Cheers.
See you.
Cheers.